Alright, and it sounds like we are getting ready to start the race here.
Yeah, it does look that way. Good luck to all of our runners. This is going to be a really fun race.
It's going to be a super good race. It looks like they're off right now. Starting off with Bubble Ghost here. So the goal of this game is to take that little egg, or bubble, as some people may call it, and get it to the end of the screen there in the opening. If you touch any part of the out of bounds there, or like the border, your bubble will burst. No pun intended there. Along the way, you're going to have some obstacles like the spikes coming up and down from the ceiling. You're going to have some fans that may blow around your bubble. And also, you're going to have some interactable objects as well, too. As you saw from Hero, he blew up the candle to progress the bubble past the screen. Later on, you'll see our runners play like a trumpet to put a snake to sleep, hit a few switches to turn off some fans, and etc. There is a really tight maneuver coming up on all of our runner screens where it's Hall 6, I want to say, where if you there's two different routes that you can take the bubble, either a bottom route or a top route. The bottom route is exceptionally tight, but it is the faster route. You can go top route, which is the safer route to take, which will be interesting to see which way our runners will go.
Yeah, I would almost imagine that early on in the race, I think just like when nerves might still be a factor, I think a lot of people might go top route.
I mean, we got JA there, try to go bottom route right away, but the little, I call them sea urchins, kind of expanded out and got them there. The sea urchin hitboxes are, they're pretty weird. You'll have to deal with them at the end of the game, and Hall 34, I believe it is. That screen looks frightening, but it's actually not that bad. But you do have limited continues and limited lives in this game, so it all depends on how risky our runners want to take it here as well too.
Yep, and you get two continues, right?
Yeah, I believe so. It's you get a 1-up after X amount of points, I believe it is, or X amount of halls completed. And yeah, you have two continues to get through. But we'll see coming up here. There's a couple warps in this game, two in particular, that will skip a third of the game basically.
Yeah, we'll see the first one on level 4 or Hall 14.
So Hall 11 that you see on Hero screen right now, it looks fairly easy, but it is actually a pretty tight room. The hitboxes on everything don't appear as they are. Sometimes the hitbox for the bubble is actually more towards the middle of the bubble. Sometimes the hitboxes on the needles actually extend further out than what is actually shown on the screen. So that room is a bit deceiving. It looks easy, but it's actually a pretty tight room.
Yeah, I feel like this game is just like a giant escort quest. The only good thing about it is you actually control the thing you escort.
Yeah. So looks like we're not going to see it on a hero screen, but you can actually tickle the elephant. Since he's not going to tickle the elephant, his run is invalid. And so basically what you can do is it does literally nothing, but you can actually blow on the elephant. The elephant becomes very, very happy. It does nothing at all for the stage. But you'll see here in Hall 14, Hero is going to go up the middle instead of across. And what this is going to do is that it's going to warp him to Hall 21. So it's a pretty big skip. So
yeah, I mean, you're essentially skipping 7 levels, so that's 20% of the game. It's really easy. Like, a lot of our runners are making it look really easy to control the bubble, but it's really not. It gets really... It can get out of control really quick.
Yeah, So the way you blow the bubble is very interesting in that you'll see Hero be very close to the bubble. I find that if you are close to the bubble, you have a bit more control over your bubble. But if you keep a distance from your bubble, you can kind of lose it pretty quick because there is a speed to this bubble depending on how long you're blowing on it, how far away you are from it, and just the angle in which you take with it. It's a very precise game. Like Cove was saying, our runners making this look pretty easy.
Yeah, I watched the world record of this, and then I was like, oh, I can do this, and I started, and I very quickly was like, yeah, we're gonna go on to the next game. I get the gist of it.
So here on Hero's screen, Hall 25, we have the 3 lasers on the bottom. If Hero would have actually timed his blows a bit better on the bubbles, he could have actually skipped through those lasers. It's a very, very tight window, but it is possible. I would say this is one of the harder rooms in the second part of the warp. Those fans blow the egg at an incredible pace, and you actually have to get the ghost well ahead of the bubble to push it down. So here on Hero's screen, we're about to see the second warp.
Oh, Ghost is going to be pouty for a little bit first, but we'll see it.
This is a pretty tough warp because not only do you have to worry about the spikes right away, you have to worry about the sea urchin, and then you have to worry about the laser beam. And like, there's a lot of obstacles to get around for this warp. It's not an easy one to.
Yeah, definitely not.
And along the way, like not hitting the corners of the building either, otherwise the bubble pops again. So it looks like Hero got the second warp.
Yeah, he had a really good angle on that last attempt there.
We got Ariel and Smart Alec attempting the warp as well.
Yeah, this is actually really close.
So yeah, you just saw Hall 34 on Hero's screen there. That hall, it looks exceptionally scary, but it's actually pretty easy. And here you go, Hall 35 is the final stage, and Hero will be moving on to Rod. And we have, let's see, it looks like everyone on Hall 34 right now on screen. So Rodland is a pretty adorable game. I believe they are using the Japanese version of this game. The difference between the Japanese version and the US European version is that you get more lives. I believe you start with like 9 lives, and yeah, that's basically about it. I think the US and European version you start with 3 lives.
Yeah, and so the point of this game is essentially in every room you need to kill all of the enemies, and you have a magical rod, but the rod itself won't actually kill anything. You just end up, it puts them in a magic force field, and then you need to slam it around a bunch to essentially kill them. And then they drop weapons, different kind of sub-weapons or power-ups that you'll see different ones. That rocket will go straight to the side until it hits something. The S-ball is like a bouncy ball. There's fire, flame, there's a bomb, there's dynamite, there's... the dynamite actually is one that you don't actually... Like, it ends up having like a sonic boom kind of effect on the horizontals. That seems to be one of the better ones to get.
Yeah, there's actually 2 ways to complete each level. The faster way is to kill all the enemies. The other way is you can collect all of the collectibles in the actual stage. But you'll see our runners make these imaginary ladders, which will come in handy when we come to the boss fights. So after every 10 stages, or 10 scenes rather, in this game, they're going to encounter a boss fight. And the boss fights are pretty simple. They can get a little scary if you don't know where to stand. As you can see on Hero's screen, that if you hit an enemy that you already have wrapped up, it'll kind of like put them into a stun animation, and it kind of saves you a little bit. However, that like rope or whip, whatever it is, hitbox is atrocious. If the enemy is actually too close to you, the rope will not actually trigger the wrap animation, and you will just die. And once you die, I don't think there's any continues in this game, if I remember correctly. So very important not to die. You can see Hero here fighting the first boss of the game. You can actually stand 2 blocks away from the alligators to tickle their nose to kill them. So again, if you're too close to the alligator and those little babies come out, the babies will kill you. Something to think about as well too in this game is that if you actually throw your whip or your rope at them early, you'll actually put them in a little bit of a stun animation, which can save you, because it is very easy to lock yourself in a corner in this game, and that is actually very bad. That's almost a guaranteed death if that happens. If our runners do get into danger with lives, they can collect all of the items in a stage, and it will trigger a little bit of a bonus screen, and they can get extra lives.
Yeah, I really don't know if we'll see that happening unless they're getting really low, though.
Yeah, shouldn't see it, but it may happen. So you can see on Hero's screen, if Hero was just a little bit more to the left, he would have whipped that character off of the ledge and would have had to chase after it and go after it again. The bees, though, in any video game, the bees are awful. They come at you at a diagonal, they'll hop around on the ground, and they'll fly back up again and come at you at a diagonal again. So.
Okay, we should have Hero back up now. Yeah, but I mean, we've got our top 4 here are only about 3 levels apart, so this is really, really close so far.
Yeah, this is a very close race so far. It's going to be interesting to see our 4 runners in Looney Tunes. I think that is where some of the gap may happen, and if not in Looney Tunes, Battle Unit Zeoth probably, because Battle Unit Zeoth is it's not a hard game, but it can snowball.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it seems very punishing if anything bad happens.
So here we have our second boss on Hero's screen, which is a whale shooting kidneys, baby face. I don't 100% know what they are.
I'm cool with kidneys. That's cool.
I'm cool with kidneys. That's what I typically call them. So the point of that fight is you need to whip the whale in the eyes, because why not, right? So, and there is a quick kill to that fight, as you saw from Hero's screen. You just have to climb the ladder. There is a certain place that you can stand to stay safe. You just have to keep whipping to make sure the kidneys don't touch you, and keep hitting it in the face. So, but this game is a one hit death game. So. And it looks like we have, let's see here, we got Smart and Tobier on the boss as well. Now it looks like Ariel is now on the stage 2 boss. But I would say, like, overall, this game is it's a very fun game. It's if you have the patience casually, it's a pretty easy game as well. Once you understand some of the mechanics. I think my biggest complaint with this game is that the music is repetitious.
Oh my gosh, yes. Like absolutely.
So here we got Hero got the dragon's breath, or the lighter, whatever you want to call it. So he has the fire now, so he can just breathe on the enemies to kill them. I personally prefer the fire power up over anything else, but the dynamite power up is very good as well if you can get all the enemies on the same plane.
Yeah, it just depends what level you're on.
Yeah,
for what would be better.
Alright, so Hero is on to the World 3 boss, which is an elephant on a rope. And what this elephant is going to do is going to swoop and shoot teeth out of its trunk. What you need to do is just hit it in the face again, just like everything else in the world. And Hero had a very nice fight there.
Oh, come on. I'm good with them being kidneys, but those are obviously baby elephants.
Are they?
I don't know. Wait when somebody else gets there. At least on Hero's screen, which is like so crisp and clear, like they looked like baby elephants to me.
So I think they're supposed to be babies of whatever you're fighting.
Yeah, but the whale one does not look like whales.
The whale one looked like kidneys.
Okay, let's see if we can see on Alex's screen.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what's happening over on Tobier. Looks like his emulator may have crashed.
Yeah, I don't think he was close to running out of lives.
I don't think so either. I think his emulator may have crashed.
Oh, that is awful.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they are baby elephants. Alright, they just looked like teeth when they were looking at you.
No, I could totally understand where you were coming from. Yeah, so hopefully Toby can kind of get back into this, but I think we're gonna try to keep the top 4 up here. But hopefully we'll see him again, because that's he was doing really well. That was just a really rough circumstance.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I remember, I think it was last year when Heroes Super Game Boy 2 locked up or something like that.
Yeah, soft locking in a Mega Man Game Boy game is not great. Those are not short games, especially when you're right at the end.
Alright, so we got Hero here knocking out Scene 40. Moving on to the final boss. This boss is gonna look pretty weird. It has, I think, 2 or 3 phases to it, where the first phase is you have to go and try and catch this thing flying around the room. The second phase, this guy's gonna come around and dip around, and you have to hit him. And then the third phase is he goes into full bull mode. and you just have to climb a ladder up and hit him in the knee a few times.
Yep, and then here's phase 4.
Which now you just hit him in the thigh.
And GG.
And that is Rodland.
So now we have Looney Tunes, aka Belthic's favorite game.
Love this game. So right away, there is a warp in this game in stage 1. I know a few of our runners have practiced it, but I don't know if we will see it. The game looks fine, but I promise you the controls are not fine. They are quite slippery, and it is a lot of movement based. So right away you're off with Daffy Duck here. And first stage, you get to fight Yosemite Sam, Marvin the Martian. You do more damage when you jump on an enemy's head than you do throwing a frisbee at them. So you will see our runners utilize the jump on head tactic over the frisbee tactic. So it looks like Hero is not going for the warp. The warp is insanely precise. You have to jump on a few rocks, maintain some momentum, and get on top of the screen. It is exceptionally hard to do. I think in like 52 resets, I think I got it once. So, we get to fight Yosemite Sam underwater this time. So here we're gonna get that little one up as a safety strat here. In the water, momentum is weird. Where the faster you mash, the faster you swim, which doesn't sound that weird at all, but it only works when you go up. It doesn't work if you're going down, left or right, or anything else. So now we have Ariel going over to Looney Tunes. We have Smart Alec on Looney Tunes. These little sea creatures, if you encounter them when they're on the bottom, they go up. If you encounter them when they're on the top, they go down. Just understanding the patterns. And Hero is about to enter the first boss of the tunes, which is a giant fish. And the point of this fight is to just bounce on its head.
I think more importantly, though, it's not just a giant fish, it's a giant wind-up fish.
Yes. And then at the end of the stage, you'll have a little treasure box come down that you gotta collect. Never seen that before in a game. And now the Tweety stage. The Tweety stage it's weird. You're gonna see Hero purposely get hit by a baseball, and what that does, for some unknown reason, it makes Tweety run like the speed of light. So if Hero gets hit again by an object, he will slow down until he gets hit again. You'll also see Hero probably ride Sylvester's head quite a bit as well too, because what Sylvester will do towards the end of the stage is that he will jump and lunge at you quite a bit, and if he catches you, you lose a bit of time. The whole purpose is you want Sylvester to fall into the sewer holes, and at the end of the stage you get bird feed. But the stage is so bizarre, and you can fly as Tweety, but not for very long. The flight length for Tweety is pretty short. It's just enough to get over obstacles. Now we have the Porky stage. This is my favorite stage in the entire game.
The auto-scroller.
The shmup. My favorite part of this stage is you get to kill like these random little alien things, and then as you progress through the stage, these like satellites come in. I don't know where they come from, but there's a bunch of satellites. And then at the end, you get to fight a witch that shoots spoons and forks at you. It's top.
I do like the boss. The boss is cool. Looks like Mo is just trying to finish up Rodland here.
Yep, Mo is going into phase 2, so he's gonna hit that kneecap a little bit there. It looks like we got Smart Alec on Tweety stage. Looks like we got Ariel on Tweety stage as well, too. Give you a little context. If you look at the bottom of the play screen, you have 3 hearts, and then the X, and the lives of... Oh, here we go. Here's the boss. Yeah, you get the star boss. There's the forks, and there's the spoons coming right up for you. They want some of that bacon. And the boss is down for Porky Pig. So, like I was saying, at the bottom, scores, I think after X amount of points, you'll get a 1-up. But you have 3 hit points, X amount of lives, unlimited continues, if I remember correctly. And each stage is timed. So you're going to see here on the Tasmania stage on Hero, it's one of those levels where it's like a bonus stage where you can spin around and collect meat. And the more meat you collect, the more points you get. That leads to 1-ups. Yeah. This is a speed run. We're just gonna stand here for a minute. A literal minute.
Yeah.
Oh dear is asking for some lore on the Silverware Witch. Well, you see, oh dear. Back in 1973, there was this witch that really wanted bacon really bad, and Hansel and Gretel weren't around right now. You know, they weren't born quite yet, but Porky was, and the witch was like, you know what? I can settle for some ham or bacon or whatever else you want to give me, Porky. So that's why the witch, you know, has the fork and the spoon. However, the witch knew that the witch was mortal, so it put a curse on itself that when killed turns into a star. So. Alright, so we got Speedy Gonzales stage. This stage is... Ugh. Speedy Gonzales is fast, and Speedy Gonzales' movement is awful. It's exceptionally slippery. Its attack is awful. Everything about this stage is not fun. Here is probably the hardest part of the stage are these little like 1-block platforms, and with slippery movement, it's pretty hard to do. We got Cool Frog here on Hero's screen that Hero's gonna try and jump on and stay on top of his head. If he is on the ground when Cool Frog jumps up in the air, he will be locked in place for about a second or two. There is a clip right here where Hero is at with the blocks. I don't 100% understand how it's completed, but you can clip through the corner and get out of this stage a little bit faster.
Yeah, this little puzzle is another painful part. Some of these games just... Oh,
there it is.
He did, yeah. He got through there.
So if you were to take the warp in stage 1, you would have spawned in that room that you just saw Hero in. So it actually skips a pretty large part of the game. Hero it goes into that side room to pick up the POW power-up, basically. What that POW power-up is going to do is that whenever he runs into enemies, they're just going to fall over dead. Here he's going to fight Dracula, and Dracula is pretty easy, as long as you can lock him down. Keep on his head. When he goes in the bat form, you just got to stay up there and grab that cheese once it's done. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of Storf mooses in chat now after that fight. And now we have the Roadrunner stage. So the Roadrunner stage is... There's not much to worry about in the stage. Some rocks will fall out of nowhere, and you just have to dodge them. If you get hit by them, you do get hurt. However, Wile E. Coyote is weird. Wile E. Coyote actually has a few phases. He has, like, his first 2 or 3 phases are set, and after that, his phases kind of alternate, or he can do different attacks between his phases. You're going to see Hero try and keep Wily at the very far left of the screen and try and hit him as soon as his hitbox is active. And what that's going to do is that's going to prevent Wily from performing his first attack in that little phase, allowing for a quick kill. Otherwise, you have to dodge a lot of attacks. And the only way to damage Wily, from my knowledge, is to jump on his head. So here we have Hero in the final stage of Looney Tunes as Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny has very, very similar controls to Daffy Duck. They're not awful, but they are a little bit slippery. He's going to utilize the frisbee a little bit throughout the stage to hit some of the enemies.
Takes a damage boost there to just go a little quicker. Ooh, he does take a death.
Yeah, those frogs can be a little froggy sometimes, especially towards the end of the stage. And what's going to happen at the end of that stage is there's going to be a multiple frogs there at the end, and you kind of gotta be careful with them. So here it's a little bit of like a boss. I don't know where this raptor came from in the game, but it's a little bit of a boss rush here. You're going to see Yosemite Sam, Jurassic Park Raptor, the Mummy from Speedy Gonzales stage, Cool Frog from Speedy Gonzales. You're going to see Marvin the Martian from Daffy the Duck, and then you're going to see Cool Spot here. And Cool Spot gained some muscles since his 7-Up commercials. And basically from here, it's a race to the finish. You have this rock coming at you, and you pretty much just clip on the edges. And then you're going to use momentum to get through most of the final screen. So here's what I was talking about with the frogs at the very end here. So you get two HPs at the very end here. So here we have the Elmer Fudd fight. So here you can kind of see if you don't lock Elmer Fudd down in the corner, he can get a little squirrely. And once he loses his hat, he gets very angry. And when he shoots his shotgun, it's a triple shot. So you don't want to be in front of him at all either. When Elmer Fudd loses his hat, when he lands on the ground will shake, stunning you if you are on the ground for a few seconds.
Yeah, it is definitely... It's a fight where you need to be paying attention to a lot of different things.
Yeah, okay. It's the hardest fight in the game, in my opinion.
Still a nice job right here. On to Battle Unit Zeoth.
Battle Unit Zeoth, we got another shmup in the whole series here. This game is really cool, but it can be very punishing as well. Much like shmups, you get your power-ups and you rely on your power-ups, and if you die, you lose your power-ups, and some of the later stages can be pretty rough. So our runners are gonna want to keep the power-ups as long as they can throughout the game.
And specifically, you're gonna see probably all of them go for the beam power-up, which is what they have right now, instead of the laser. Because you can end up getting 4 of those going across the screen at one time, which you can essentially hit anything on any side of the screen just with that weapon. And the U power-ups are kind of upgrading the hyper shield. They're essentially replenishing your health. It's that bar on the bottom.
Yep. Then it looks like we got Ariel here on the Bugs Bunny stage. We got Smart Alec on the Bugs Bunny stage, and we got Mo just standing there.
Yeah, so you see now with Hero, he's got the 4 wide weapon, and so he can pretty much kill anything in front of him right now.
Yeah, something cool about this game is that it doesn't stay just a horizontal shmup. It actually goes vertical as well too. This game is actually a lot of fun. I highly recommend playing this game. It's a very, very fun game. So here we got Hero going into the first boss of Battle Unit.
Playing it just a little bit safe. You can get your attacks off a tiny bit faster if you're right next to it, but it's a lot more dangerous. And there are technically 5 stages in this game, but essentially it's just 1, 3, and 5 are longer auto-scrollers, and 2 and 4 are really quick. Like, this whole entire level up to the boss will take about 10 seconds.
Yeah. But this is one of the vertical stages I was talking about. Um, with these stages, yeah, very quick. Stage 2 boss coming up here. With some of these stages, though, they do pose one of those like, oh, I took the wrong way, now it's a dead end, and now I'm dead. So if you're wanting to speedrun this, you definitely need to memorize some of the stages.
Yep. And in case you are interested, stage 1 was New Age City, which is the city that it takes place in. And then now we are entering an underground base that the alien robots had put up in a war 40 years ago. And we'll move on from there when we get past it.
Looks like Ariel here has a very good fight with Fudd right now, locking him down in the corner. Nice job. One thing we didn't mention with Looney Tunes is that if they do game over and have to continue, they have to start the stage all over again. So in that Bugs Bunny there, if they were to game over on Elmer Fudd, they'd have to start that entire stage over.
Yeah, we absolutely do not want to see that.
No. The Elmer Fudd fight is a very hard fight. It's hard if you don't know how to fight Elmer Fudd. Like, you don't want to use your frisbee at all against Fudds.
And speaking of, Mo is very low on lives.
Yeah, Mo here on Speedy with 1 life. Let's hope he doesn't have to replay Speedy. Speedy is one of the longer stages in the game, followed by Bugs Bunny. If he does take an intentional game over, Roadrunner is his best stage to do that in, since it's exceptionally short. So,
I mean, I guess so. Bugs has pits right at the beginning, right? So you could just jump in the pit twice and
you could do that. Yep.
Take it.
Yeah, there's a couple of different ways he can go about it. But if he's not good at the Wily fight, and he gets too Wily, he has 2 lives down, so you got to 1-up after that stage. But if he's not good at the Wily fight, I don't know. We'll see how if I had one life going into Wily, I would probably take the intentional game over to get my lives back, because I'm not very good at the Roadrunner stage at all.
Gotcha, that makes sense. So now we see Hero going to the other vertical stage.
I never realized how fast those stages were.
Yeah, I mean, they aren't even really stages. It's just like, here's another boss. And you can with the B button, you can end up sacrificing 2 of your kind of life bar things to be able to do some extra damage to everything on screen, or pretty much kill everything on screen unless it's a boss. And so I think we saw Hero do that once to do a little more damage to the boss.
This is probably the best song in the game. I will say the soundtrack in this game is pretty top-notch as well.
Yeah, I've always been amazed at just how good they could make music sound back when you could only use like so many channels and noises.
Right. I mean, there are some fair share of Game Boy games that will make your ears bleed, but this game is not one of them, thankfully. I would say all the games on this list have very aesthetically pleasing sounds to them.
I feel like as long as you only have to listen to the Broadland music like a few times.
Yeah,
it's good, but it's
not bad. It's just very repetitive. Yeah. Ninja Spirit might have a little to it, but I mean, the game is kind of too, so it's mediocre. It's a fun speedrun, but casually, it's pretty mediocre. So here we got Hero just blasting his way through the stage here to the boss. I love that the tactic to kill the bosses quickly is just to tank all of their hits and just kill them. So just like that, Hero is done with Battle Unit Zeoth and moving on to Tracks. As mentioned in the pre-show, Tracks is a very laggy game. You can already see it right away, and Hero hasn't. He just shot his first bullet, but you can see it immediately at how laggy this game can be. So the way this game works is there are a multitude of power-ups that can happen. You can get like a missile that kind of pierces through everything. You can get a double shot bullet that shoots in front of you and behind you. You can get like a bomb shot, which explodes a little bit in front of you. And I think there's one more, and I can't remember what it is off the top of my head right now. Oh, I think it's a tri-shot. In the speed run...
Oh, sorry, I was just going to say, Mo did get past... He almost died with... He was on his last life on Elmer.
I had faith in him the whole time.
Sorry for interrupting.
No, you're good. And along the way, you're going to see him as well get these gas canisters, which if you look on the right-hand side of the screen, there's a big black bar there. That is the fuel, aka your hit points. So you're going to see him grab some gas cans to fill up the hit points when needed, and then obviously little tanks for little one-ups there. You're going to see him utilize just the normal single shot, because the single shot you can shoot pretty quick, and it does, fine amount of damage here. So the first real boss we got going on here is a boxing dragon tank, where you just shoot it in the head a few times, and it is done. The game is very, very short, but what makes it hard is the lag. Like, it's not a hard game, I'd say, but what makes it a little difficult is definitely the lag. So you can see right away in Hero's screen that he just is dropping down to mere frames at this point. So you want to keep your shooting to a minimum. Really only shoot when you absolutely need to help clear the screen a little bit to reduce some of those lag moments.
Yeah, I imagine if you want a top tier time, you have to almost route out the types of things you want to be killing to make sure that the lag is minimized.
Yeah, this game is actually pretty well optimized. I want to say it's down to like 7 or 8 minutes. I know a few people have really taken the time to really optimize this. So here we have a mini fight here, the halfway boss fight, where you fight yourself that turns into a giant version of yourself. Pretty easy. Most of the fights in this game are exceptionally easy. I would say the hardest one is the mini boss before the...
Oh, the Marble Madness Black Marble?
Yeah. You may see some runners here who may know the run or just may know the game in general. They may pick up the piercing shot because it is nice. It does do a little bit of extra damage, but it shoots slower. Or you'll see some of our runners take the front and back shot to protect their back end as well too, because you can shoot some of the bullets that come out and help defend yourself. So that boss there you just saw with Hero, what it does is it actually chases you. It goes to your last known position and tries to fall on top of you. So here we have Ariel starting tracks. Now we have Smart Alec into tracks as well, and we have Mo blasting through Battle Unit Zeoth.
And it does look like Tobier has been making a bit of a comeback here. He hasn't let the Rodland kind of emulator crash go. He's in the bug stages of Looney Tunes, and let me check. Sprinting Legs is still back in Rodland, it looks like.
Yeah, So there we saw the black marble. It is an easy fight. The reason it can get a little weird is that if you let it go for too long, it kind of spawns wherever it wants onto the side of the screens, opens up and starts shooting four balls at you. The clown boss fight is actually pretty easy as well too, if you know how to fight it or know where it's going to be coming from. I would say this stage is one of the harder ones simply because of the little chasms that you have to drive through, because you don't have much places to run or hide. It's kind of you hold right and stutter a little bit to get through it all. So here we got the clown fight. So yeah, so you just saw the quick kill for the clown fight. What goes on in that clown fight, since you all didn't get to see it, is the clown will come out, stick his tongue out, and a hand will come from the corner and shoot a bullet at you, all while a loose projectile will be coming from wherever, top, right, left, bottom of the screen to try and hit you as well too. So not a scary fight, but if you don't pay attention to your surroundings, you'll get hit a couple times. So now we have Hero in the final stage of the game right now. This is where a lot of lag management is going to come into play. As you can see, it is a bullet storm on the screen right now. It is a good time, and along with the bombs dropping, like, it may not look like there's a lot going on the screen, but the bombs dropping, they explode, and that causes so many extra sprites to appear on the screen, which causes so much lag on the screen as well too. So
I was gonna say, what's shooting the big balls?
Ooh, I'm glad you asked. So there is a big tank at the end of the stage, or a cannon rather. Not the spoiler alert, not the end boss, but you drive into this turret, as you just saw. That was shooting the big balls out. So now we go into a nice traditional boss gauntlet where we get to fight all of the previous bosses that we just got done fighting, before we progress to the final boss fight.
Man, there's so much mashing in this game for the bosses.
Yes. That's why some people prefer the missile shot. The missile shot does do a little bit more damage, but it does shoot a lot slower. But if you're speedrunning this, you want the simple gun because it does shoot a lot faster, and it still does a nice amount of damage.
Does that guy have a name? I just call him Psycho Robot.
I just call him Folly Guy. So here we're approaching the final boss. The point of this is to shoot that square in the center while avoiding the electric circuits coming from the left and right. Here we have this person that pulls out an arm and tries to throw some bombs at you. You just say no, shoot him in the face a few times. Now he pulls out a few Trax tanks, and these Trax tanks show you all of the different power-ups that the game had to offer. You're just like, no, we can't have that happen. So this boss is going to come out with a fan to cool down the situation. He turns into DDD with a giant hammer and tries to smash you a few times. All while you're just trying to shoot him and take him down. So
yeah, this boss has a lot of different faces.
Yeah. I mean, it's made by HAL, so there's going to be some Kirby comparison going on. And just like that, Trax is done. So we don't get to see the cute ending of the hammer guy chasing Trax in the background, but we get to see E-Sparks, though, which is your favorite game, right, Cove?
Yeah, at least from the limited amount I got to play them all, yeah. I enjoyed this game a lot.
We are halfway through the list.
At least in games. Probably not in time. Considering we got Gargoyle's Quest at the end, which is Probably about 2/3 of the time we've spent so far in the first 5 games.
That's true. You got Gargoyles Quest going on. So eSparks, I don't know a ton about this game. I played it casually. I don't know the whole speedrunning side of things for this game at all. I do know that the little person in the canoe following you, they will attack enemies on the screen. The main attack you're going to see, I believe, is the lightning bolt as well too. So
yeah, there's the like the regular shot, there's the 3-shot, and then the electric shot. The electric does the most damage, but I mean, all of them are used, I think, at one point for various reasons.
Yeah, I believe so. But this is a really cool game. It's not that easy though. It's actually it's not super difficult, but it does pose a little bit of a challenge. Like,
so this is like a 4-headed like eye hydra thing. So there's gonna be 4 of these things you gotta kill on them.
yeah, I will say the boss sprites themselves are very creative. The fights not so much, but the sprites themselves are very creative. I think they did a very good job on the bosses in this game. I think they did a good job on the entire game. I think the sprites are exceptional.
Yeah, they definitely are. Like, some of it doesn't even look like you're actually playing a Game Boy game if it looked that good. Looks like Alec is coming up on the end of tracks as well here.
Yep. And it looks like Ariel is in the boss gauntlet of track. And Mo is making his way through stage 1 of tracks. Yeah, stage.
I will say, even though they must have overspent on the graphics budget, because these sounds when you go in these elevators are, oh my god.
Yeah, that's the thing with some of the Game Boy games as well too. Like, they may have an amazing song as a stage, but the sound effects would just be something else, because like they just ran out of room or whatever it may be, you know, hardware limitations, whichever. So yeah, throughout the stages, you're gonna see these little ghosty boys come out, and they're gonna drop some power-ups for you, whether it be health, the guy in the canoe to help you out. Yeah, they're just there. They help you out. It's like Eddie from Mega Man.
Yep. So here's kind of the mini boss of the stage.
So yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it looks like both Jay and Alec are into Sparks as well. I like eSparks. I don't know how to say it, but eSparks sounds good. It sounds like esports.
I mean, the way speedrunning is going nowadays, it might as well be esports at this point.
Hey, I'm there with you guys.
But we got Mo in stage 3 of tracks. Mo takes the route that I typically take in this stage as well too, and it's to go on top of the chasms to avoid the falling rocks coming from the side. It's a little bit slower, but it is much safer. And I see PLD in chat wants a ban because he just says Shaq Fu is not a video game, so gonna need that to happen.
I'll at least get that out of there. I'll at least get it out of there. Don't worry.
you believe it didn't get into SGDQ this year? Alright, so we got here, there, knocking out another. I believe that was a real boss of that stage.
Yep. Yeah, it separates. You just got to kill the right piece there at the top. And this is the first of 2 flying levels where you suddenly have a dragon for reasons.
I think these stages are super cool because, like, how often in any video game do you get to fly a dragon?
Yeah, not very often.
Like, the music is just so good.
Is there ever like a never-ending story video game? Because there I could see you flying a dragon.
I mean, you fly a dragon in World of Warcraft, I guess. It's never ending. I think my favorite thing about eSparks, though, is in between the stages you have that bald guy, and I'm pretty sure he's giving you the finger. Pretty sure. I mean, like, look at it. Like, we just saw it on aerial screen.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's probably not saying a lot, though, if your favorite part of a game is that somebody's giving you the finger.
I mean, it's a Japanese game. I've seen weirder things.
Yeah, so Hero beat the mini boss, which just looks like a gargoyle, and this boss that's going to be coming up here in a bit is, I don't know, I've dubbed it Fat Gargoyle because, I mean, they look kind of the same. It's just one's bigger than the other one.
Yeah, it's King Gargoyle. It's the final chapter of Ghosts and Goblins. But no, this game is super cool. I do wish that the other weapons were more utilized because I think the arrow weapon is probably my favorite weapon to see. Mm-hmm. But we do see it, once in a while. But we see the lightning bolt, I think, the most in the entire game. Has a lot to offer in terms of like your actual weapons. It's just a shame that we don't get to see them all.
Yep. Yeah, it is too bad.
Yeah, it sounds like we got Sprinty Legs here, getting out of Rodland, going into Looney Tunes here. And Tobeer is in tracks, so Tobeer, even with what appeared to be an emulator crash, has made a valiant comeback.
Yeah, I mean, just being able to keep it together when you're in a long race like this and you lose. He was in the last 10 levels, I think. And when you lose your entire progress for a game, it can just put you on tilt so fast.
We got Mo finishing up tracks there, so he'll be moving on to Miracle Adventure of eSparks as well. Yeah, I especially in a game like Rodland, because like there's no passwords at all to like go back to where you were. Like there's just none of that. Like if you crash or whatever it is, like you just have to start from and something like that in a race like this is it can be heartbreaking pretty quick. But he has persevered. They have persevered, and they are pressing forward. And it's awesome to see him come back from where he was. I mean, there's still a lot of games left. We still got 5 more games left in this race. Literally anything could still happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when it comes to Gargoyle's Quest. All of the random encounters.
Yeah, so stage 4 I feel like is kind of the one annoying stage of eSparks because it's kind of a maze. You have to go through all these teleporters, and
Yeah, it's one of those. Okay, I went through this teleporter. Now I have things shooting at me immediately. So I have to know that once I go through this teleporter, I need to start shooting right away.
yep.
I think the final stage is the worst stage in my opinion, just because of all the like elevators you have to take.
Yep. Yeah, I could see that.
So here you can see Hero charging up a shot here. Waiting for UFO Boy to come out. And we got Mo fighting the first boss of E-Sparks. I believe this is where you see the guy throwing the finger after the first boss of stage 1.
Okay, we'll look. We'll see. As Hero goes into the second flying stage. You know, you could see it that way.
Yeah. He's just an angry old man. But the music in E-Sparks, like, it matches the levels very well. Like, if you're about to encounter something epic, like the music like goes into that nice epic tone. Like it's an overall just the soundtrack for this game is amazing.
And so we're fighting King DDD here.
Round 2.
Oh, the first time I saw him, I was like, "Wait, that's." I mean, there is a resemblance for sure.
There is 100%, yeah, 100% a resemblance to that. So here we're about to enter the castle here on the bridge, I suppose, since we can still see the outside. The fire hitbox in this game
is dumb.
It's so bad. As you saw in Hero Screen, he was clearly over the fire and still got hit. Those elevators there, if you let them go up, all the way up, and they smash you into the ceiling, it obviously will cause damage. It doesn't kill you, but it does cause damage. Yeah, this is the stage I just despise. I don't like this stage at all.
Admittedly, I did not get this far when I was playing through it.
That's fair.
And we have the Conehead Knight.
The Bugle Knight. We got Ariel there taking out the boss. So Hero is I believe Hero has ran this game in a Tiny 10 as well. So he has some experience with this game. Another reason I don't like this level, you have to time the jump on those tons. And,
yeah.
And if you like miss a tongue jump, then you fall, and it's just it can just be made. So I believe there's one section coming up where we have to do multiple jumps on the tons. And if your timing is just a little bit off, you'll miss one of the jumps and you'll fall back down to the bottom.
Yeah, I want to say there's like 3 of them or something. Or maybe even more.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, never mind, just the 2.
It just looks like it looks like you're not gonna make some of those jumps, but then you just happen to like clip on top of the plane, and there you go.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure.
Also, that little ghost boy can go into the wall sometimes as well. And if it goes into the wall and starts dropping items, you don't get those items. So I've seen that happen a lot. Yeah.
So for this last boss that Hero's coming up on, what you're probably going to see is him actually take damage and then get right up next to him on his face and just mash.
Yep.
So you can shoot a lot faster with the regular shot. And so, yeah, so he takes damage to lose his weapon, and then he didn't quite get up. There he goes. He got up there, but now we'll just mash a bunch. Oop.
It's tough. It's tough to get up there right away. And the hand does do 2 damage to you every time you get hit. So you have to be, and you only have 6 lives, so you can only get hit twice, you know, and it's. So here we're probably gonna see Hero maybe play this a little bit more safe since he only has 1 hit point left.
Yeah, he's switching to the tri-shot to get up to the horn. Wow. Yes, I mean, that boss fight can be about 5 or 6 seconds if you get it perfect. But I mean, great job by Hero to get through that without dying.
Very nice job. And Heroes onto Ninja Spirit. While we have the other 3 runners on screen in eSparks as well. But Ninja Spirit, what a weird game. Very fun speed run. But casually, the game is kind of You're going to see Hero have a few images of himself throughout this run, and you're going to see bosses melt pretty quick as well. The game itself, like control-wise, not too bad. One of the biggest issues with the game when playing it is that there's a lot of flickering. So some of the times, like you see right there, like those ninjas throwing those knives out, sometimes you just won't see a knife and it'll hit you and you're just like, well, I don't know what just hit me. So that will definitely happen. You're going to see Hero throw dynamite, and that is going to be the main weapon used against bosses because that does the most damage, and most of the bosses in this game are exceptional. This is a pretty quick speed run. I would say it's like it's about a 10-minute speed run. I think it's a short speed run. It's a fun speed run, but and I definitely recommend anyone looking into a pretty easy speed run to learn. This would be one, just to get your feet wet. But like I said, you're gonna see Hero have a few images of himself trailing around. And what those images do is that they do the same attack that Hero has active on his main character. So when Hero has dynamite activated on his main character, his images are also going to throw dynamite as well, which is the reason why the bosses melt so fast.
Yep, and you'll see some of the enemies will drop kind of a power up behind. If it's an up arrow, he'll get another clone. If it's a down arrow, it'll kind of upgrade his weapon.
Yep.
And Max is having 2 clones, right?
I believe so, yes. But Hero's making pretty quick work of this game already. Then we got Mo on the eyeball stage for the teleports. We have Smart Alec on the final stage of eSparks, and we have Ariel on the final stage of eSparks as well. All of our runners are still very, very close together.
Yeah, I'm honestly really impressed with how well everyone's been doing. Like there have not been a lot of game overs or even continues yet. Like everyone has been doing really well.
All right, so hero screen here again. If you've ever played Metal Storm for the NES, we're gonna flip upside down here. We got a little bit of some gravity issues going on here with our ninja. So he's gonna take some of the gravity and flip upside down and take the easier path through the stage without having to dodge a bunch of the pits or anything else that the game has to offer, and then just go right to the end of the screen. Here we have a rock ceiling coming down, so it's kind of just a race to the finish type deal. Meanwhile, we have Smart Alec and Ariel progressing to the final boss fight. We'll see if they can get the quick kill on the final boss. We have Mo fighting the UFO alien. Looks like Ariel is into the final boss fight. As mentioned, the hand does 2 damage to you every time you touch it. It's something else. So Ariel takes an unfortunate death there, but luckily you spawn in the boss room, so you don't have to redo any of your steps at all. It is pretty tough to get up there, and there you go. You just see Ariel just make quick work of that final boss. Yeah, it's a very, very quick kill if you can get on top of that hand and just get into the boss's face. If the runners are consistent at getting that quick kill, they may take an intentional death if they don't get up there right away, and just retry again. So here now we have Ariel and Ninja Spirit, and we have Smart Alec loading into Ninja Spirit as well. Mo in the, I believe, the final Flying Dragon stage of eSparks. And we have Hero just making exceptional quick work at this. Here you see Ariel using the bomb or the dynamite, whichever you want to see. You'll see that Ariel doesn't have a spirit along with them, so instead of throwing 2 dynamite at a time, they're only throwing 1 at a time. So as you can see on Smart Alec's screen there with the spirit alongside of him, then you can throw more projectiles at the boss, causing them to just die a lot faster. You see it here on Hero's screen as well too with his 2 spirits. We have Mo now in the final stage of eSparks, progressing through and trying to get to the final boss. As you see, the fire is top-notch hitbox. Hero moving into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Fall of the Foot Clan. And just a bit update, we have Kabir in eSparks as well, stage 3. And for Legs, Legs is in the Speedy Gonzales stage of Looney Tunes, so she is entering the hard part of the game. So here we have the first Turtles game to be presented onto the Game Boy. It is a very straightforward hold right game. and just take out the Foot Clan as they come by. The game, in my opinion, really doesn't start posing a serious issue until the final stages in the Technodrome. But you will see some familiar faces if you grew up watching the Turtles back in the 80s and early 90s.
Yeah, and you'll see that Hero will actually is trying to not really ever attack while he's on the ground, because it will kind of stop you there for a second, as you can see there. So while he's running, he'll try to do like jump kicks or jump slashes to kind of avoid that slowdown.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter which turtle to pick. You're going to see probably most of our runners choose Leonardo, since he is the first option in the list. But the range on all of the turtles are the same. Even Donatello with his. A lot of times too, you're going to see the runners, if there is a Foot Clan member on the screen behind them, they may just keep progressing forward on the screen, just to keep them behind them, and then just take a bunch of them out in, 1 or 2 swings and be done with it. At the bottom of the screen, you see life. Obviously, hit points. If you eat pizza, it heals you. If you've ever played a Turtles game, pretty common. If you lose a turtle, you don't get that turtle back. If you game over, I believe there might be 1 or 2 continues in this game. But this is a relatively short game as well.
I actually don't think there are continues. I think if you lose all of your turtles, it's a game over.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I think. If anyone else out there knows better, let me know. But
yeah, it's been a while since I played this game, so.
This is a very slow-moving game, though. Like, you don't run fast at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm still trying to convince Mo to put Castlevania Adventures in. If you want to see a slow-moving game. So yeah, so we're still in stage 1 here of Turtles. You're starting to see a lot of these enemies, and you'll see these enemies throughout the game. Like, obviously you'll see the Foot Clan, since it is called Fall of the Foot Clan. You'll see these little robot chomper guys come around too. But the game is it's a very playable, it's a very fun game.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's short.
I feel like outside of the original Turtles for NES, a lot of them are very, very approachable and accessible to play and to just have fun.
Yeah.
As we're coming up on Rocksteady here.
Yeah, so the trick with Rocksteady is that Rocksteady's going to shoot one time, you're going to jump over the bullet, kick him in the face, and then he's going to be stunned in the corner, and it's a rinse and repeat. It's a very, very easy fight. I would say all of the boss fights in this game are very easy. The stages are what make.
The enemy must be near. April is screaming.
Donatello with the truth. So there are little bonus games in this as well too. We probably won't see any of our runners take them. However, there are bonus runs or bonus stages in here that a runner can take to get some 1-ups or health rather, if they are in danger of dying or losing a turn. After you've killed, I don't know how many enemies, but X amount of enemies, a piece of pizza will drop as well too to help replenish your health too. So that's why you may see some runners literally just break everything that's on the screen that's breakable, including the falling blocks as well.
Looks like Mo is through with E-Sparks as well, going into Ninja Spirit.
Yeah, something else to note with Turtles is once you've reached the end of a screen to progress, you have to make sure all enemy sprites are defeated. So the game actually won't let you progress through a screen sequence unless all enemy sprites are gone. So it's important for the runners to make sure that is taken care of too before they hit.
I don't think that's all the rooms though, right? It's just a few of them. Like this is one of them, but
I believe the last room he got stuck as well, simply because he didn't have a Foot Clan member down. And I know the room that leads up to Rocksteady, if you can only break one of the barrels, if an enemy is there, but you can't break both if an enemy is there. You can only break one.
okay.
Here we got Bebop. So Bebop is going to charge and try and shoot at you. Basically, you hit him, jump over him, kick him, jump over him, rinse and repeat.
I do like that he does have the amazing ability to catch his sunglasses on his face every time he gets hit.
Yeah. Kind of wish I had that ability. So here we see Ariel getting out of Ninja Spirit, moving on to Turtle. Smart Alec not far behind at all. Mo going into stage 2 of Ninja Spirit. Those turtles look exceptionally skinny. Not enough pizza. This is the... Yeah, you want to call it a train stage,
But they're trucks.
But it's a bunch of semis, just bumper to bumper traffic. So
No, but if you look in the background, like they're zipping along. So I feel like it's like they have to be automated trucks. Like there's no way you could drive that fast.
They must be Teslas. I have no idea. But here is where they choose a villain that I don't know if I completely agree with. There's plenty of other villains they could have chose for this.
For this stage, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for the game in general. Like Rocksteady Bebop, pretty popular known names in Turtles lore.
Spoiler alert, Shredder and Krang also.
Right, Shredder, Krang, but this one, like, kinda, I guess.
I mean, he does make appearances in other Turtles games for sure.
It definitely does, yes. But it's a weird one to choose for this game, I feel.
I feel like we should just tell them what's coming out. Well, I mean, he's here now anyway.
He's right here.
But yes, Baxter Stockman. I don't know if we mentioned it before, but I did like how, like, in the second stage and then later on in the game, you actually have, like, the main Turtles theme that's going on, too, for the music.
Yeah. Oh, I don't even know, but it just feels weird that Baxter's in the game.
Yeah, what was like this, the like, Snow Wolf, the wolf guy? Whoever that is. Hold on, I'm gonna look something up.
Well, you had like the River Rat King person, not Splinter, but like I can't remember his name. Yeah, Rat King, yeah, okay. I don't think they were canon quite yet. Right. I don't know. I feel like there was just there's a lot more villains they could have chosen Baxter. But here we have River Stage. This stage is kind of a nightmare. You kind of want to maintain being on these logs, but at certain parts of the stage, you just have to go underwater. And when underwater, you move a little slower, and you have a lot of floatier jumps, so it's really hard to like calculate where you want to land, how you're going to kick something. It's kind of the worst. And you got these piranhas just coming at you. Like, I don't know why there's piranhas in this river. I don't know where they are, where there's piranhas in the river. So like here, like there you saw that Hero had a enemy on the stage and couldn't progress. We got Ariel hitting up Rocksteady here. Oh, and Smart Alec on Rocksteady.
Yeah, the two of them have been like neck and neck almost this entire race. It does look like Hero has grown like about a 6 to 7 minute lead, which is actually a pretty decent lead. I mean, we can definitely see a lot of stuff change in Kirby's and Gargoyles, but no, I mean he's been playing really solid this whole time.
Definitely. Him having a flawless Ninja Spirit run, not losing any spirits at all throughout the entire game. His Turtles run right now has been exceptional as well. He's just doing very, very well. I will say the worst enemies in this game, though, are the little ones. They're just kind of hard to hit, which becomes a problem in the final stage. Here we got Shredder. Shredder is kind of a pain to fight.
Yep.
Yeah. You want to hit Shredder from behind. If Shredder takes a swing at you from the front, Shredder's sword hitbox is a lot bigger than it appears, and it does some damage to Turtle. So, but looks like Raphael took him out. Best Turtle. So.
Wow, best Turtle, Raph.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're gonna pick Michelangelo.
I don't even know where to begin with that.
So
I will say, in the first one, Raph actually does like halfway decent damage. But yeah, Raph's garbage.
Wow. Wow. So here we got Hero in the Technodrome. This stage. Ugh. This stage can get a little much towards the end. And it's more so because of the like dome robot things that you see jumping around. Sometimes they can be a little tough to hit at times. And if you don't kill them in one hit, they get knocked back and they'll shoot a laser at you, and it's a thing. And those little laser mines, like once they start triggering, they just keep shooting. They don't stop, so you have to time your jumps properly. This whole stage is a good time.
I do agree with enemy's assessment of Mike, though. Mike is the worst.
Yeah, I don't like Michelangelo.
And actually, some hot news here. We just found out the enemy actually dressed up as Michelangelo for Halloween when he was growing up. So apparently that costume didn't go over well. It made him after that.
Alright, so a little bit of an update. We have Tobeer in Ninja Spirit. Then we have Sprinty Legs in Battle Unit Zeoth. So Tobeer making up a lot of ground for sure.
And at least sprinting's through Looney Tunes. I mean, that can be really tough.
Yeah.
As we get to our favorite brain in a robot.
I love
brain in a robot's stomach, maybe.
Krang was the best thing to ever happen.
That's another interesting stance to take. Just the best thing to happen. Period.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like running water. Like.
So we got this Kirby game on screen.
Yeah. So I'll let you talk about Kirby since you played this forever.
The bad video game. So Kirby's Dream Land normal mode. So what we're going to see our runners do recently, I would say within the last month, a runner by the name of Speedman has found a way to manipulate the entire run and has achieved what we deemed pretty much not human possible, and that is a sub 11 in this game. So what you're going to see in this run from our runners is this game is a RNG nightmare. Every boss has a random pattern to it that will sometimes allow Kirby to do damage to the boss, or oftentimes just make Kirby wait for an opening to take a swing at the boss. Here coming up, we have Wispy Woods here, and Wispy's going to do a couple things. He's either going to drop 3 apples, which we see right away on Hero's screen, and or this tree is going to throw some wind, as you see here. So we see 2 puffs. Wispy can puff up to 8 times per cycle, and it doesn't necessarily have to be puffs to apples. It can be puffs, 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 and then some apples. Like, you can legitimately lose a lot of time on the tree.
Why would you do that to him, though? Did you see how sad he was at the end?
Yeah, Kirby is the villain of this game. Kirby's the villain of every Kirby game, to be fair.
And so, can you tell me why there are 3 Kirbys at the end of each stage?
Well, lore would have it that Kirby is actually an amoeba and oftentimes splits itself. That's why Kirby doesn't have a gender. Yep. So here in stage 2, there's a couple of routes that a runner could take here. We see Hero going the non-curry kill route in stage 2. So what's going to have to happen here is that Hero's going to have to rely on a lot of luck and a lot of precise movement for this Lolo and Lolo fight. With Lolo and Lolo being 1 row apart from each other, he could actually get a double hit in. However, taking a few hits backwards and not being able to get down to the rows fast enough, it kind of just takes away from that time. But he still does a good job, makes quick work of the fight. If you were to take the curry, so instead of going over that little pyramid and into the door, if he would have gone up into that little hidden door at the top there, you would have gotten something called curry. That would let Kirby shoot fire out of its mouth. Because there's no power-ups in this game. This is the first Kirby game to be made. And you can take that curry all the way to the final boss, or the end level boss, and if he got really good luck, he could 1-cycle that boss instead of 6-cycling it. So here we're in Float Islands. This is my favorite stage in the entire run. It's a very technical stage where if you take a lot of damage going up to Kabula, it's a little daunting. Also, lag management is a must in this stage. If Hero does get curry and use it in the next scene on the ship, you are going to see what I mean by that. Something to note as well, Gordos in this game do 3 damage to you. Not 1 like they do on all the other Kirbys. And in the final stage, they just outright kill you no matter what. So here we go. Hero got curry, and it looks like he is going to use it. So you are going to see a ton of lag on the screen. Well, I bounced right over the hermit crab. But yeah, Float Islands is a very cool stage. And the Kabula fight at the end, there is quote-unquote RNG to it, depending on if Kabula will do single shots at you or a triple shot at you. It kind of just doesn't matter. You go up in Kabula's, I guess, face. Doesn't really have a face, and you just shoot it down. Fun fact with the Kabula fight, though, as Kabula comes down from the top, Kabula does take extra damage getting positioned in ready for the fight. So another fun fact, if Hero kills Kabula too high up on the screen scroll down will crush Kirby and kill it and have to redo the... Bubbly clouds. So this is I call this the endurance stage because this is the longest stage of the game. This stage it's I wouldn't say it's hard, but you definitely get tired at the end. Here we see Hero doing the fluttering strats across here. So in normal mode, you can just hold right and walk underneath all these Waddle Dees and Waddle Doos floating down, or parasols, whichever Kirby generation you're from, and just progress to the end of that stage. On extra mode, those umbrellas actually attack you, so you gotta be a little careful here. We have Sir Kibbles throwing some boomerangs around. And Scarfies, just like in every other Kirby game, if you try to inhale a Scarfie, it will attack you and it will blow up.
So, like, how difficult is this game casually? Because I feel like it's actually fairly easy with the fact that you can float over most things.
It's exceptionally easy, casually. I think casually it took me about 20 minutes to beat.
Nice.
Yeah. So here we got Kracko Jr. Kracko Jr. is going to drop a Waddle Doo. If you guys want to know the difference between a Waddle Dee and a Waddle Doo is the one that has the big eyeball in the center that shoots a beam out. Waddle Dee are the adorable ones with the 2 eyes that just walk around. Kracko Jr. is going to drop down a Waddle Doo, 3 hits, and it's done. You hit a Warp Star to take you to the next screen. There's a couple places you can stand that will guarantee you not to get hit by Kracko at all. There you saw Hero trying to do what is called a background clip. So what happens is that when Kirby touches the water, as it inhales the curry, the curry, it will clip into the background and actually saves a bit of time. It saves, I believe, like a half a second. However, it's really hard to see where Kirby is going along with that block wall that you saw Hero go through. This screen here causes a ton of lag because of the falling stars and the fact that you're holding down the shoot button to break those blocks. The reason that is because there's a bunch of extra sprites coming through. Ooh, I thought Hero was going to go to the moon room there for a second. And you have to like stagger step your way through there. So Kracko, this is the this is the top of the pyramid when it comes to RNG here. Kracko can do a multitude of things. You want Kracko to drop Waddle Doos because that's how you're going to damage Kracko. Kracko will shoot beams, Kracko will swoop, and Kracko will drop Waddle Doos. Your best luck is to get Kracko to keep dropping Waddle Doos. However, you may see times where Kracko will swoop, do a beam, swoop, do a beam, and not drop a Waddle Doo at all. Right now, Hero is getting pretty good luck, pretty average for a Kracko fight. Alright, and you can actually soft lock the game right there. So if you get a Waddle Doo and you have 1 hit left on Kracko and Kracko swoops down, if you kill Kracko on the swoop down, the star will actually go into the floor plane and Kirby will not be able to grab that final star, and you are soft locked to have to reset the game. Good times. Here we go, we're into stage 5, which is the final stage of Kirby's Dream. I am Mount DDD. Again, we have another boss rush here where Kirby is going to collect a mirror of itself, and we're going to basically fight all of the bosses again. We start with Lololo and Lalala simply because after Kirby slides on its face, when we enter the stage, we are closest to the Lololo and Lalala door. So we got a nice double hit there on Lalala. It's actually pretty important to pay attention to what boss you've done damage to. So Lololo doesn't have the bow and Lalala has the bow. So if you're wanting to optimize how you're doing damage to a certain boss, you want to pay attention to that for Lolo and Lalala. Hero not opting for the Kracko clip. So like I mentioned earlier, the Gordos will instantly kill you in stage 5. However, if you take damage and damage clip behind the Gordo, you can go immediately into the door and avoid the Kirby mirror altogether.
Yeah, the other thing I think is really cool about this boss rush is it's not like your normal like boss rush where just screen after screen of bosses, or like kind of like this one. It looks like a Mega Man-esque one where you have the little portals you go through to fight the robot masters again. But like you actually fight like mini representations of the levels.
Yeah.
Or have to go through them before the boss. I think that's a really cool kind of addition to it.
Yeah, it's a good time. The hardest part is honestly getting into the door. The door entrance boxes are kinda bad in the loading screen, I guess you could. If a runner was very risky, they could do what is a 2-frame window to slide under a Gordo and get into the door, but I don't recommend that to any of our racers at all. So here we are in the Float Islands scene of things here. So we're about to fight Kabula again. Something we didn't discuss earlier is that there's these spikes here. These spikes will do half of your remaining hit points. So Hero right now has 6 hit points. If you were to touch a spike, he would lose 3. If he had 4, he would lose 2. If he had 3, he would lose 2. So avoiding the spikes is a must for sure.
Okay, so if you have 1 health, you will die.
Oh yes. But fun fact: if you hit the spikes and stay in the spikes after you've taken damage, you won't take damage in the spike.
So you would have infinite iframes then until you get out of the spikes.
Yep.
I mean, probably not too many useful cases in speedrunning, but unless there was a really long spike. I mean, if there was a really long section of spikes, maybe, but...
Yeah, so here we go back into Wispy here. So again, relying on Wispy luck. So we get three apples right away. Ultimately, you want 3 apples to drop back to back. And we don't get golden apples, unfortunately. So we get the 2 puffs in between, which is still not bad. So Hero is now going to be going on to the DDD fight. And DDD has 4 different attacks it can do. You want the hammer attack. It is the fastest attack that DDD can do for you to generate a star. The hammer attack will trigger at Kirby's last known position when the hammer was activated. DDD can also do a jumping attack, as you just see here, to generate 2 stars. In Kirby Stream Line 1, there is no such thing as an enhanced star, which means if you suck in 2 stars, it does double damage. It just does the normal amount of damage if you suck in both stars. DDD will also do a diving attack, which will be at Kirby's current position, so you have to just jump over it, pretty easy. And then DDD will do a sucking attack, very nice DDD fight from Hero. And DDD will do a sucking attack, which is a very long attack, and if Kirby gets eaten and spit out across the screen, it's a very, very long attack. So we have Hero going into Gargoyle's quest now. So
looks like Toby is up to Bebop in Turtles, and Legs is still on Battle Unit Zeoth, for those keeping track. And now we have good old Firebrand. So this was, I'm gonna have to. This was in, I believe, Nescathlon, or at least the Gargoyle's Quest 2 was, I believe. And I didn't know about this series, or the Gargoyle's Quest games. I found it incredibly awesome that they turned like a Red Devil, like one of the most painful parts of the Ghosts and Goblins series, like into a main character. And I love the concept of the fact that you have your life in the bottom left, you have like your essentially the length of time that you can float, or your wings on the right, and you'll upgrade that over time to eventually be able to float forever. But I like this game, like I still want to go back and play both of these games because they have such a cool plot to me.
they're a lot of fun. Yeah, the one issue of Gargoyle's Quest 1, however, is that there are random encounters once we get out of this stage. They're not a good time. There are scripted encounters and a very, very nice quick kill by Hero. Basically, you tank a hit, so you have 1 hit point left. You're inside of the fish, and you just smash. So we're gonna go to like an overworld here, where there are scripted fights that you have to encounter, but there's also random encounters that is going to happen, and that is, in my opinion, the worst thing about this game is just the random encounters, because that is what's going to make or break this.
Yeah, no, I mean that is definitely true. For a speed run, that is can be incredibly frustrating or incredibly exciting if you don't get many.
Yeah. So here is one of the scripted fights coming up, I believe here. Pretty easy. Most of the random encounters that you have are relatively easy. They're just annoying, honestly. So Hero is going to be coming up on a town, and when he enters the inn, it's going to be like a checkpoint saving area, where if he were to die, that is where he would spawn. Looking at the other runners we have here, we have Smart Alec on, I believe that is his second Wispy fight.
Yeah.
Mo on, I don't know which low and la, and Ariel on just finishing up the second Krakow fight.
That was the
that was the first one. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, I thought Alec was gonna go for the Gordo clip on Kabula, because if you dive into the spikes and bounce out on the other side, you have enough iframes to get behind the Gordo. So when I saw him dive into the spikes, I thought for a second he was going to do a Gordo clip on Kabula, and I'm like, that is a bold strat to do in a race. So it looks like Mo is on stage 3 there, Float Islands. Very, very cool stage. I love it. Oh yeah, so I mentioned earlier, Speedman found a way to manipulate the entire run. It's an entire run manipulation, which means that if you mess up the manipulation at any part of the run, the manipulation is over. So if you have perfect manipulation up to Krakow 1 and you lose it, then you lost it. Like stage 5 is up in the air at that point. It is very precise, and every particle that is generated on the screen in Kirby's Dream Land changes the memory. So whenever Kirby sucks in, whenever Kirby generates a star, whenever anything happens on the screen that generates extra particles, it will change the memory. So what we found, or what Speedman found, is that before certain fights, he will jump up and down to generate extra sprites to change the memory. He will inhale to cause a bunch of particles on the screen to happen at the same time, to change the memory in his favor. So there is a script out there that a person can download. I don't know 100% where it's at right now, but I do have a few links that they can download to try it out and see how it works. I'm very excited to see him to put that into extra mode though, because that's my baby, is extra mode for Kirby Dream Land.
So it sounds like you almost, like, if you think of the RNG as like a counter, it's like you almost want to hit the counter at like a certain number, and you're doing as many particles or whatever you need to get to that certain number to get the boss to do what you want them to do.
Essentially, yeah.
Is it like you say it's really like tight? Like, is it like frame? It can't be frame perfect the whole way, but like how tight is it?
You can't mess up anything. It has to be perfect. Like I wouldn't say it's frame perfect by any means, but it's more so like making sure that the memory is what it needs to read, which means that the script out there tells you how many particles need to be created to generate the correct memory, whatever you want to call it, slot or whatever it is. Okay. And if you go over that amount, you're done for basically. If you go under that amount, then it's up in the air as well too. But you can typically tell when you've lost your RNG manip because of how the bosses will behave. So like if you get 6 apples right away with Wispy, you're probably like, okay, I still probably have my manip. But if I go into the Lolo and Lolo fight and they're not, you know,
Next to each other.
if they're not next to each other, I've lost my manip. Or
Sure.
if I go into the Krakow fight and Krakow isn't giving me a waddle do every time it swoops down, I lost my manip. So,
Gotcha. Looks like Alec is through Kirby's and on to Gargoyle's quest as Hero kills Four Eyes. And JA is still just behind there. The two of them have been very close this entire race.
yeah, Mo is picking up a lot of ground right now too in Kirby's Dream Land. Ariel missing a couple of those stars because they were up against the wall against DDD. The rule of thumb when fighting DDD is you kind of always want to keep DDD in the center of the screen, because if the hammer strikes at the edge of the screen, you kind of can't get that star at all. So you kind of want to keep everything in the center. So just those few little star misses, you know, opened up an entry for Mo to get in. You know, we got Ariel finishing KDO, going on to Gargoyle's quest as well.
He was really low on health.
He was. That was a little scary there at the end. Yeah, with Kirby's Dream Land, if you hadn't finished the first 4 boss gauntlets and you game over, you have to redo all 4 of them. So say you've done 3, but you game over on the 4th one, you have to redo all 4 again. However, if you've defeated all 4 and you're on DDD, in game over, you only have to do DDD. So a little bit forgiving in that aspect. So yeah, throughout Gargoyle's quest, you're going to see. So by default, the shot they have is that little. I kind of call it a fireball. I don't know if it's an actual fireball. They start off this little fireball, but as you see on Hero screen, he has like these boomerangs now. As we progress through this little portion that Hero is in, he's probably going to get the wing upgrade. That's kind of sort of hidden. If you don't talk to the residents, you kind of don't know where it's at, but or you probably won't find it unless you're one of those blind players that likes to check every little crevice in the RPG. So but when it comes to Gargoyle's quest, I never put a lot of time into number 1. I put more time into Gargoyle's quest 2. So a little bit of story with Gargoyle's quest is that Gargoyle's quest 1 is actually a sequel to Gargoyle's Quest 2. We have another nice quick kill on Ariel's screen for the first boss there. But Gargoyle's Quest 1 takes place in the human realm. And so that's where Firebrand is at. And in Gargoyle's Quest 2, he's in the ghoul realm, I believe, or the ghost realm. Yeah. So and in Gargoyle's Quest 2, there's no random encounters either, so it's for me, because I started learning the Gargoyle's Quest speedruns a little bit, but 2 I lean more towards 2 because there's no random encounters. So my Gargoyle's Quest 1 speedrunning knowledge is a lot smaller than 2, so
Hey, it's all good.
But here you're gonna see Hero interact with this tree, which I believe is what gives him the wing power up. So I believe this is his first wing power up that he'll. We got Mo going into DD here, so all 4 of our runners on screen will be in Gargoyle's Quest here. I do like how this thing just takes its head off and throws it at you, though.
Yeah.
Ariel needs to be a little bit careful here. The little ghost people that have shields, you can only hit them from behind. So typically in those types of encounters, you just jump into the spikes and shoot both of them and take them out. But if they have a shield, they'll face you and you can't do damage to them. So you'll see it here in Ariel's screen. Oh, Ariel will just hang to the wall. Typically, you just fall down the spikes. It's not a big deal. Alright, just a little bit of an update. We have Toby in Kirby Streamland first stage green greens, and we have Legs on the final boss of tracks. So all of our runners doing exceptionally well.
Yeah, so that part right there is where you needed that wing upgrade for, unless you were going to do that super hard bridge skip.
Yeah, no, we had this in Tiny 10.5, if I remember, and but the goal was to beat the first boss or second boss. Yeah, where Hero is at, once you've completed this, was the goal for Tiny 10.5. In Tiny 10 Remix number 2, these runners are going to be complete in the game. Enemy didn't mess around when he made this list, so.
I don't know. I think there is a certain amount of, I think, charm and goodness to have all of the games beat the game.
Oh, I 100% agree. I think the biggest reason with the Tiny 10s is that we have a lot of blind runners come in, and games like Alien 3, for example, like that's not a very blind friendly game. Gargoyle's Quest, blind, I mean, doable obviously, but very long. So Mo tries to keep it the best he can to be a little bit friendly for the blind runners. He has started leaning more towards beat the game and putting harder games in, but Mo is just too nice. So
no, I understand it. It's just you don't really. I think like Nescathlon was all beat the game as well, and I like the option to be able to submit all of your times to the leaderboards.
I 100% agree with you. Yeah.
And yeah, I guess because this is a remix, you have all of them. Theoretically, if you've played in all the Tiny 10s, you know all of these games or parts of these games already, and so learning the rest wouldn't be as big of a deal.
Yeah.
So it makes sense for something like this to have them all beat the game.
I really want Belmont's Revenge to get into a Tiny 10 remix. I want to see people struggle on the second to last boss.
Wow, that is nice.
That's why I don't make the game list for Tiny 10. Yeah, there would have been no Super Mario Land 2 at all.
So you were the kid with the magnifying glass and the ants, weren't you?
I was if you remember Toy Story, if you remember Sid, how he takes that magnifying glass and like magnifies a hole in Woody's, that was me as a kid, basically. Someday, though, we'll have Alien 3 and Shaq Fu and a Tiny 10. None yet. It's going to be. Rickard wants box on the Tiny 10. See, now you're just getting crazy. Clearly, if we're gonna have box, we need Hyper Load Runner in as well too. Get all the good puzzle games in there. Yeah, at this point where Hero is at is where a lot of my Gargoyles Quest 1 knowledge is just non-existent. I know the boss strategies, I know the boss fights, but when it comes to like the actual route and how all of this actually works is when my knowledge is very lacking. So, I did learn this game for a brief period, but the random encounters are just so atrocious that I couldn't handle it anymore. And I think Rogue Link convinced me at SGDQ last year to not even run Gargoyles Quest 1 and just run 2.
Yeah, it's nice to see he's up to 4 life though, and kind of that full wingspan. He's not quite infinite yet, but he's got the full bar there.
Yeah.
So even though the like a lot of the platforming sections are pretty hard, he at least has more to work with to get through them.
I do like the fact that they have these breakaway walls where you have to like manage your wing power, but also be very accurate in getting onto those walls or into those spaces. I think that's a really charming part of Gargoyles Quest, honestly. I find things like that to be a lot of fun, even though a lot of people may find them very frustrating.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely neat to kind of have those extra mechanics you have to worry about.
Yeah, another nice fight there by Hero. Hero's made quick work of all of these games. I think he had a little bit of problems with E-Sparks with the final boss fight, but overall he is making quick work on all of these.
Yeah, I mean that might have been almost his only death. Was in that final boss. He might have I think he took a death on Bug's stage maybe. But
Yeah,
but like he's barely had any deaths throughout all 10 of these games. It's been very impressive.
Yeah, and the deaths he has had like haven't been too cost,
No, they've been dying.
Haven't really cost him much time at all. Like when he dies, like he just spawns right back in the boss room. It's not like Kirby's Dream Land where if you die in the stage, you have to redo the entire stage or anything of that matter. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you will see most of the players here using the Japanese version of Gargoyles Quest. They did have the option to use the US version, but the JP version is faster with text, and so, I mean, maybe they played through it first with English so they understood what was going on, and then probably most of them just jumped straight to the Japanese version.
I don't know, just like the stages in this game are just they're so it feels so good to watch them when they're done so correctly, because like there's just almost no damage happening. It's just so fluid to watch it happen.
Yeah, and there's a lot of tricky platforming sections too. I wish I could tell you what's going on here, but he's gonna go talk to this thing 4 times, then go back up. And...
Well, this is how Majora's Mask started. So this person he's talking to is wearing a mask that's probably Majora, and this is how Majora's Mask became a thing. Link is actually dressed up as Firebrand right now, so
makes complete sense.
You guys want the lore, just let me know. I'm really good at making lore up.
No, I mean, no, I'm not making it up, just like bringing it back through the annals of history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if you guys are ever wondering how the Zelda timeline works, just let me know. I'll fill you in. So here we have a little bit of a tight segment that you see on hero screen there. The fire, I almost called it lava. The fire there obviously does damage to you. I don't remember if it one-shots you or not, or does double damage. I can't remember. I believe it just one-shots you. But it's so that it's a little bit of a tight flight sequence there. So he uses almost a full wing power to get through that. But all of our runners doing a very nice job in Gargoyle's quest right now. Mo making his way through. I believe he just defeated Four Eyes.
So we've got, I don't know, what is that? Is that called the cloud? I forget what it's called, but it lets you like be safe to kind of put a platform where you can land instead of spikes, or the claw. Okay.
I absolutely love the music in Gargoyle's Quest 2. Or 1, rather, sorry. And 2.
I was like, did
I like
you
it in 2 as
also?
well.
As you see a damage boost there to just fall through everything else. I'm not even gonna ask why that's called the claw. Oh no. He ran into that spike and died.
Man, it's a good thing he lost all of that time right there.
Yeah, oh, maybe that was intentional.
I think it was
if he knew that there was a
death,
checkpoint there. Yeah. I'm willing to bet that was intentional. He saw what his health was and knew that he'd respawn there. That was really smart.
Saving his health potion for the boss at the end.
Okay, thanks, Luska. Yeah, you're just gonna see him. He takes damage there and just starts wailing away. Okay, well, that one was probably less intentional. So yeah, there are 6 runners. We have Sprinting Legs and Tobiar still going that aren't on screen there in 5th and 6th. And he has been practicing. He's doing a Soul Blazer race right now, and he's going to be joining us after that. So he will be here. It's just he has too many races to do. He's a busy guy. Yeah, I'm looking. It looks like Tobiar is just starting Gargoyle's Quest, and Sprinting Legs is on eSparks. So we're getting close here.
We're getting real close here. Yeah, I forgot the Soul Blazer race was happening today.
Yeah, even with that little mess up there, Hero's just been doing so good.
Yeah, Hero here with the infinite wing power now, so not gonna be much of an issue. Unless he gets hit. Because there are flying things that can go around and shoot projectiles at you that will hit. And if you get hit while flying, I believe you lose your flying animation and just drop down, so. I lied. Apparently you don't lose your flight animation. Imagine lying on commentary.
Oh, I leave that to you. I tell the truth.
Got a question from MLR. Any other runners in this game? Yeah, why am I mixed up in names?
Tobiar,
there it is. I was gonna say Legs. I'm like, Legs is not in this game right now. Legs is in eSparks.
Tobiar just started a bit ago. Which, once again, if you guys weren't watching from the start, Tobiar had a really unfortunate emulator crash on Rodland, which set him back probably almost 10 minutes or around 10 minutes. And so he's done a great job just kind of keeping his composure and staying in it.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely still not out of it. First place might be a little bit out of reach for him now, but I mean, Ariel, Mo, Smart Alec, like something could happen to them. Like they could crash, they could.
Okay, let's not say that.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of things that could happen.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that everyone is going to just kick butt from here on out. But yeah, I mean, you never know what's going to happen. And yeah, here we go. So you actually, I believe you have to hit no there, the second option, or else you lose all your power-ups.
Don't know, but I can tell you how to fight this boss, though.
Mash B?
Basically, Hero is going to utilize that infinite wing power there and get as close to the left arms as possible. Take out the left arms and then just go right to the head. You don't even have to take out both sets of arms at all, which is kind of humorous.
Yep, so we're going to be having GG really soon here. And GG. Congrats to Hero. What a run. It looks like 2 hours, 15 minutes, and 51 seconds officially.
Absolutely insane run.
I'm not sure how many full runs he did, but when you PB on your full runs by 4 minutes and 35 seconds, you've got a pretty darn good run going. And I mean, looking over to Alec and Ariel, they are both PBing by more than 10 minutes as well. So they're both playing really, really well for what they've been used to.
Yeah, everyone right now is playing just phenomenal.
Okay, so it looks like we have Tobier on the top left now. Now that Hero is finished, so you can see where he is on Gargoyles. Looks like he's in Monster Tower.
Got Tobier here fighting Four Eyes, getting in a Monster Tower.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a really close end here between at least Alec and Ariel.
Very nice fight there by Tobier. So we got Ariel in the Majora's Mask scene again.
I have to admit that was one piece of lore that I was not aware of before today.
Yeah, it's a secret part. Most of the staff from Nintendo don't need to know about it. So
I like how you almost couldn't get that out without laughing.
I mean, the tank you see right there on Mo's screen, that's actually tracks later on in his life. From all the violence that it had to ensue in its path, you know, to get out of the city it was in. You know, all that damage it had to do. It got to him later on in life, and that's what it became.
Unfortunately, the Trax tank is very powerful.
Well, yeah, you gotta be powerful. And then Seymour, if you ever watched the that movie, what was it Little House of Horrors? Is that what?
Yeah.
Yeah, and now it learned how to get out of the pot and fly around. So, Little Shop of Horrors.
Wait, what did you say? Little plant?
I don't know.
Oh, you said Little House of Horrors. Yeah, Little Shop of Horrors.
It was a little something of horrors.
Yeah. Hey, it was scary either way.
It's been a few years since I saw that movie.
Okay, hopefully this time will go a little better for Mo. Got the health. Oh, he didn't use the health. There he goes. He just wanted to make sure he had it, okay? Alright, this looks like it'll be good.
Oh yeah. So here you can see on Alex's screen where Hero chose to take a bottom path. Alex took a more top path for this, and you can see a lot of the flying sprites that are around that can run into you and shoot at you and do whatever they want to you. If you take
that one health.
Yeah, if you take that lower path, a lot of those sprites just don't spawn, or they may spawn if they don't see you, so they don't attack you.
Is the bottom path like slightly slower, I would assume?
I think the bottom path might be slightly more dangerous because it's a pit, and you fly pretty low, pretty close to that pit. So I think if you were to like lose an input or somehow just like manage to, you know, lose your flight, somehow you fall into the pit and die. So.
Gotcha. I think I'm just noticing for the first time too. I don't know how I missed it. Just how much Firebrand is just strutting around when he walks.
I mean, if you know what he's been through, like he took care of the ghoul realm, and like he was like, then they were just like, you know what, go to the human realm and just take it over. Do what you want to do. Man, if I had that opportunity, I'd be strutting around as well.
And so, joining us now, we have the champion of the Tiny 10 Remix 2. We have Gran and Hero. How are you doing?
Hi. Yeah. Is this thing on? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
this thing is on. You were on all day, man.
Yes. Yeah. I had a good run.
A very good run.
Yeah. What can I say? These games are super fun to play. I'm really stoked about this list. So the practice has been it's been 100% fun to be practicing these games. So it's glad it's finally a race day.
That's awesome. How much time do you think you put in practicing?
Well, I took a day off work to actually learn the entire Gargoyles quest. So that was 12 hours of Gargoyles quest one day. And then I didn't know what to do the day after, so I played Gargoyle's Quest the entire day as well. So I think we're looking about 100 hours of training for this event.
Nice. I mean,
Wow.
that's it. It takes a big commitment if you want to win one of these things, and I mean, you definitely came through there.
Yeah, it 100% showed.
Yeah, last Tiny Town Remix that Enemy made, of course, here on RGLtv as well. That was my very first race, and I immediately fell in love with the format. I've always been very interested in speedrunning, but I can't. Yeah, I was second place last time. But I can't.
Alec, if you just real quick, Alec is finishing up. He has just finished in second place. Looks like he at 2 hours, 25 minutes, and 29 seconds. And that was a PB for him by over 11 minutes on the full run as well. So both runners so far have had real big full race PBs so far.
Yeah. And Ariel with the unlimited wing power is progressing towards the end of the game as well too. But Hero, I watched you practice quite a bit for this. What would you say going into it? What was the game that you were the most afraid of going into it all?
Looney Tunes, hands down, Looney Tunes. No question about it. The first boss can screw you over. The second stage can screw you over. Third and fourth stage is pretty okay. Speedy Gonzalez can screw you over. Roadrunner can screw you over. And Elmer Fudd can screw you over. I've gotten game over on him with coming to him with 7 lives. That I was so afraid of that run. So I did pretty well in that game, luckily.
Yeah, I think you took one death as in bug stage, and that was it.
Yeah, maybe one at the stage and one at Elmer himself.
Oh, okay.
I think so.
But yeah, I mean, it was a super clean run for all the things that can go bad.
Yeah. The things went my way for sure. And I think I that was a Rodland PB for me. And I'm on the second place on the leaderboard. I haven't submitted a run though, but now I got a fresh run to submit. So that's always something.
Oh, nice. So you were second before the PB?
Yeah. So I got to time that one to see if that's how it stands to the top position.
Nice. That's awesome. Congrats. PBing in the race is awesome, man.
Yeah, that's always fun.
So did you have like, what are your couple favorite games from the list then?
Oh, Gargoyle's Quest, hands down. Super fun. I still gotta say I like Looney Tunes, but I'm so afraid of it. And Miracle of E-Sparks is very fun as well. And Atros run on that one for the first place on the leaderboard. Oh my god, he just crushes that game. I didn't get the quick kill on the end boss, so I just wanted to take it slowly and kill him. But that was sad.
I think we're also going to have Smart Alec joining us, so we might kind of tag team this interview a little bit. But welcome, Smart Alec.
Yo.
Congrats on second place, man.
Dude, thanks.
How are you feeling?
Really good, actually. This is sort of redemption for me, because the last Tiny 10 I did, I forfeited, so we finished this time, and second place, so...
Yeah, and by your splits, it seemed like you were performing really well on race day, too.
Yeah, I mean, except for a couple of games, but most of my practice was individual games. I didn't do a full game run or full practice run until yesterday, actually. So, but yeah, E-Sparks, Ninja Spirit, and Gargoyles were the ones that gave me the most trouble. But everything else, I either PB'd or did all right. So can't complain. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys did. You guys both killed it out there, man. And Ariel's right behind you too. You and Ariel were like neck and neck, literally the entire race.
Yeah. Ariel.
It was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
It looks like
Dude,
he
sub
is
230,
coming
nice.
in at third place at a 2:29.43, I think.
Yeah. GG. And GG to Hero for that sick first place. Like, what was that, a 2:15? That's insane.
Yeah, super thanks. GG to you as well.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as I saw 2:15, I'm like, what the heck, dude? That's insane.
Well, I was afraid of you in going into this race. My viewers asked, "What are your competition?" And I told them that if Atros is coming, he's gonna win definitely. He's just good.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised Atros didn't do this. He had really good times for the games. So
yeah, very strange. And I called you the fast learner, so my viewers called you the prodigy.
Ooh, the prodigy.
The prodigy.
That's a good
I'll
name.
take that, man. I'll take that. I will take that.
Did Atros learn all the games? Because it looked like he didn't have times for all of them down.
I actually don't know for sure. I know he had times for 7 of the games. I don't, because he didn't have a Gargoyles or a TMNT, and there's one other I can't remember. But
I mean, if you don't have a Gargoyles time, like that's going to be tough no matter how good you are at the rest of the games.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
TMNT, you could probably get through,
Mhm.
but yeah, Gargoyles Quest, it's not something that you can really just blind on race day.
Right. Really fun game though. Like I enjoyed
that
learning the
run
whole
was
thing.
fun.
Yeah.
But the world record times are insane in that game. But
Yeah.
death warps and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
not to take into this run. Did you grab the health power up as well?
Not the health power up, no.
Oh,
which
I
probably
always
should.
go for that one.
I actually game overed in Desert Pit. So
Oh damn.
yeah, that was my biggest problem in Gargoyles. I game overed there. I still got a 35, but which my PB I got yesterday with the 33, so not too far off. So
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
time.
So I don't know. Do you guys have any other kind of thoughts about how the list was, like the process, the event, things like that?
I really liked the list. My least favorite game was Looney Tunes, personally, but
that stupid game.
yeah,
I'm
that,
so glad you all hate that game too.
okay. This is just one example. Okay, so in the first auto scroller of the game with Porky Pig, if you die, you just start where you're at. You're good to go. But in the Roadrunner one, it's an auto scroller too, but you have to start over. Like, come on, man. Be consistent, game. So, all right, my rant's over. I'm done.
Oh no, it's fine. Like we were into Ninja
Yeah,
Spirit before Belfic stopped talking about it.
Yeah.
I despise Looney Tunes. Remember it in
Yeah.
2010 being the last game of the list, and I game over like 2 times on Elmer Fudd, and I'm like, this is the worst game I've ever played in my life.
It's I don't like it. My favorite game would be Kirby's Dream Land, and then Gargoyles would be second. Yeah, I really like the list. I was happy to see Battle Unit Zeoth again because I used to have the record in that game, so I'm a little biased. But
Yeah, you and me both, Alec. We're both number 1 places in last year in that game.
yeah. And then I really like Tracks. Tracks I'd never played before this, so that was a really fun one for me.
Yeah, Tracks is a very fun game. The issue with it is that it's very laggy.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
I was happy that I actually got to learn like the casual speedrun for Kirby's Dream Land, because everywhere you go, people tell other people go speedrun Kirby's Dream Land as like the first game you're trying out, and I've never like taken the time to actually try and run it, and now I can just agree with everyone saying that if you want to try a speedrun game, try Kirby's Dream Land.
Yeah.
It's a super easy run to learn, but to get like those 3 couple of minutes you need to at the end to be really good at it, that takes super commitment.
Yeah. I
it's-
actually. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. I was just gonna say that last year I did the game blind, just randomly. I did a blind running at a 25-minute time, so really easy game to get into. So yeah, I can vouch for that. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of those games where like it's really easy to get a 12 or like a 13-minute time, but like to get like the sub 12 or now the sub 11, like
Yeah.
it's a lot of work, a lot of work.
So I think we are also going to be joined by J.A. Ariel, who got 3rd place with that sub 230. How are you doing, man?
Really good. A lot surprised.
Hey, surprised? How so?
I didn't expect to get a sub 230, and a lot less I was expecting to get top 3.
Okay, I mean, you played really solid. You and Alec were like neck and neck for most of the entire race until I think Gargoyles.
I saw Alec practicing a lot too, so
Yeah,
It's
GG
actually
Ariel in 3rd
surprising.
place.
it's
Yeah,
actually
GG,
surprising
Ariel.
we're neck to neck.
Yeah. So what we talked a little bit about the list and kind of favorite and maybe not so favorite games. What did you think? What was your favorite game or two, and like which ones didn't you really like practicing for?
The best game for me, it's probably Gargoyles. Even though it sometimes can ruin you, but it's still a lot of fun to play.
And how was there anything that you just really didn't want to play today?
Looney Tunes.
Call it!
Looney
Called
Tunes.
it!
It's oh my god. I still got a PB on Looney Tunes though.
I did too. Yeah, I did too. But that doesn't mean it's a good
Funny,
game.
Everyone just hates on that game so much.
Not good.
That's true. I even said that during my race. I'm like, there has to be one game that's like, yeah, no one likes this. There has to be one. So, yeah.
So obviously Nescathlon Tetris was the bad game. No.
The Big 20 number 10 Renegade was that game. So yeah,
Oh,
or at least my
Renegade.
opinion.
I
Yeah.
like Renegade, but man, that game can be brutal.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's always going to be tough games, but I mean, you guys got through them pretty well there.
Yeah, Mo is going or fighting again. The final boss took a death there on one of the hands. Below full health now. Mo will make quick work of this fight, or not. Oh no!
Uh-oh.
Mo came over on the final fight. I'm all about cursing people.
Ah, no.
I don't learn them.
Oh wow.
I'll make fun of him in the next time I talk to him.
That's some podcast material.
He'll be good. Hey, he'll get it this time.
Yeah,
Just trying to keep it fair.
there he goes. Still a sub 3 hour time is still very good for a Tiny 10.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going to be sub 240. Even.
So going into this list of games, you had games like Bubble Ghost, you had obviously Looney Tunes, Ninja Spirit. Like, were you worried at all with those games? Because with Bubble Ghost, it's a pretty precise game with very limited continues, and sometimes like you can kind of go on edge in that game pretty quick, and it snowballs very fast. Were any of you kind of worried about that game at all as the opener?
Thanks to Enemy putting it as the first game, I think everyone was pretty relaxed about it. Because as you say, you need a lot of focus going into Bubble Ghost. But if that would have been like the second to last game, I think a lot of people would have lost a couple of minutes in that game.
Yeah, when I was first learning Bubble Ghost, I was a bit worried, but the more I played it, I felt a bit more comfortable.
Yeah, it seems like at least you get enough lives to where you might, even if you're probably going to make some mistakes, but you're probably not going to game over and get through your continues.
Yeah.
To be honest, the only hard part of the run, at least for me, it was the first shortcut.
Yeah.
it can get a lot of lives.
That's the one where you kind of need to push it diagonal up and left.
No, it's the one
Or is that
between
the
the,
second?
That's the second one,
two spikes.
Yeah, it's Hall 14 where you have to go between the two sea urchins.
Oh yeah.
Hall was at 20 something.
7.
27 is the one.
Yeah, 27.
In my opinion, is one of the harder ones because you have to A, dodge the spikes that are coming down, and then B, dodge the sea urchin that's expanding, and then C, time it to get past that laser. So there's a lot of variables happening with that little shortcut right there. And then you got Hall 34, which looks just out of its mind, but it's one of the easier rooms in the game.
Once you figure it out, you're like, oh, okay, I got it. We're fine.
Yeah, after the second warp, the game is like as easy as it is at the beginning when you've done it a couple of times.
Some of those halls that you got that you all skipped though, some of those halls can be pretty hard though. Like if it was all levels, like some of those halls are. But going into Looney Tunes, like what did you guys think of Looney Tunes? Like practicing it, like when you saw that Looney Tunes was on the list, and were you all just like, oh, it just looks like a basic platformer, it shouldn't be all that hard, or were you guys like, wow, this game is probably going to be slightly difficult, or I wonder how difficult this game actually?
Well, I practiced it for Tiny 10 too, even though I didn't join the race, I just did it, and it took me like 40 minutes. Just to get past it. It's brutal.
Yeah, because I remember I practiced it for Tiny 10 too when I ran in it, and it was my most hated game in the list. But I remember watching a run of it and watching someone play it. I was like, oh, this game looks really easy. Before I even dove into it, I'm like, this game is just a basic platformer, kind of whatever. No, the controls are just garbage.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's just the first stage with Daffy Duck is very strange because he's so slippery, and you think you know how the jumping works, but it's really not like any other game you played. But it's still fun, but it's brutal. It's just a strange game.
Like, yeah, so you have Daffy Duck, which is pretty slippery already, and everything in that game is so based off of momentum. And then you go into the water with Daffy Duck, and then it's just all sorts of crazy, because like the faster you mash, it doesn't matter unless you're going up, and then when you go up as you're mashing, you're going 1,000 miles an hour. The game is incredible when it comes to that. And then the Tweety stage, like you get hit by something, and Tweety is like 3 times faster than it should be. Like what is happening?
Or slower. Sometimes it's the other way around.
Yeah, like what is happening in a video game?
The best level is the one where you don't have to do anything, though. That's the best
Taz level, yeah.
Yeah, Taz, yeah.
And then if you're Tweety,
for real though,
you can just ride Sylvester's head if you're in the Tweety stage, like.
Right.
I did that a couple of times.
No, for real though, my favorite levels. I mean, honestly, I liked the Porky Pig auto scroller. Like, I don't mind it.
Best stage in the game.
Yeah.
Yep.
I kind of like Speedy Gonzales actually, but I was super afraid of soft locking in the cube puzzle area. I don't know if we can soft lock in it, but if I were to soft lock in it, it was today.
Yeah, I was curious if anyone was going to go for that cube skip in Speedy Gonzales. And I saw you clip into the wall, and I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. Because it's a relatively easy skip,
and it only saves a couple of seconds, so it's yeah. But it's fun to do, I guess. But is it only me that thought that Turtles that run is so boring? Nothing happens in that game. You just go to the right all the time and like waving your little stick at footman soldiers and.
I just think it's slow. Like I don't mind the game, but it's just slow.
Yeah.
Like I didn't mind playing it. Like, I mean, it wasn't my favorite game or anything like that, but I didn't mind. It was just slow.
I'd
Yeah,
rather play
it's-
Looney Tunes for the rest of my life than Turtles for the rest of my life. That's for sure.
It's
I'm
really
the other way
just a
around. I'll
hold-
play Turtles the rest of my life and not play Looney Tunes.
It's really just a hold right and jump kick throughout the entire stages, and then just grab the pizza as they appear.
Yeah.
So then, looking forward to future Tiny Tens, are there any games that you really want to see in one?
Alien 3.
Get wrecked.
Bam! Yeah, so the funny thing is, so enemies in here in our ears, but it's not coming through, and yeah.
Talking mad shade is what's going on.
Put Belthick in his place, let's just put it.
Oh, okay.
But no, how about any of you guys, like Hero or Ariel or Alec? Like any other Game Boy games you'd really like to see in one of these?
Amazing Tatter. Please.
I can't really think of any, honestly. Like, I don't. None comes to mind for me.
I did a.
Okay, actually, never mind. Speaking of, just because this may be important to have in here, Mo has now joined us.
Hello.
Congratulations, Mo.
Yo,
Thanks a lot.
Hey, Mo.
So we had just been asking what games other people might be wanting to see in future Tiny Tens.
Well, that's a good question. I don't know what they want to see. Like, man, I'm still out of breath. I had to pee since like the third game.
oh my gosh.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
you could take a break.
I could have, yeah, sure. Yeah, future Tiny Tens. Well, Tiny Ten 9 the list is released, so if people have watched that, they at least know what those games are. There are plenty more on our research list. I basically already have 10 games for
Nice.
the future, but there's a few more that need some research that I kind of want to put in, but they're not routed correctly yet at the moment, so it would take way too long. Hopefully
Gotcha.
somebody will put some time into those two, so we can get a good speedrun going on it.
I guess we should
Tiny
take a
Ten,
little detour from that real quick, though, just to say congrats on 4th place with that. I think it was a high 238.
Let me see. Yeah, 238, 45. Like most people know, I did not practice for this at all. And the goal I set in the chat as well, in the Discord, was, look, I do not want to be top 3, because all you people are practicing for this, and if I would take one of the top 3 places without doing anything, then that would kind of make me sad. Because that's what happened last time, if I remember correctly, that I got 3rd place. So, yeah, I'm glad I'm not one of the first 3 people to finish this, so...
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Hero and Alec and Ariel did really, really well. I mean,
Yeah,
you
I
still
didn't
did really,
see-
really well, too. If you didn't practice, man, wow. That was really impressive.
Yeah, you always have to remember, like, 4 out of these games I actually routed myself, back when nobody knew about them, just because of the Tiny Ten. So, I do have the experience to play them, but I really did not practice anything. Like Gargoyle's Quest, I had no idea what I was doing, basically. I saw the run once, I was trying to do some of the quick kills, which you might have seen that totally went wrong. I was like, nah, okay, whatever. But I tried at least. But yeah, I always want to show that, because not a lot of people actually join these things, most people get scared really easily. But you can get a pretty decent time with doing a minimum amount of effort, so yeah, I can only say that to people who want to join in the future but are kinda scared. Like, just play the games once, watch a speedrun of it, try it, do not try to become the best of it, and just join for fun, you know?
It's kind of that 80-20 rule. You can get 80% of the benefit out of 20% of the effort. but then it takes another 80% of the effort to get towards that last 20% of value. So you can learn it pretty quick, but yeah, it'll take a while if you want to be right at the top.
Yeah, this list was pretty easy to learn, in my opinion, besides Gargoyle's Quest. It's not really that easy of a game, but all the rest of the games are quite easy Game Boy games to learn, so yeah, if people are interested in running these, they're easy to pick up.
You might have some disagreements here with the people in chat around Looney Tunes, but
yeah, Looney Tunes is a weird one because it just has some weird movement for sure, and a lot of things that can go wrong easily. Same happened for me in the Tweety level. I just kept falling into the sewer holes. Was kind of making me mad, but yeah, if you just stick to it, you'll get through it eventually. Elmer Fudd, of course, is not easy, but trying to hit him on the left side usually makes him go to the right. Did not happen for me this time around, but yeah, that's usually what you want.
Toby, you're having some issues here in Gargoyle's Quest.
Yeah, the Rushifel quick kill, I tried it once, but I was like, nope, I'm just not gonna try anymore, because this is kinda harder than I thought it would be. That is true, Hero. People have been wanting to put Mulan Game Boy in Tiny 10 for quite a while. I absolutely hate that game.
Who would want that?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah, I told one of the runners that, like, if you can get 10 people on the leaderboard with a sub 10 time before Tiny 1010, I'll put it in.
What is the world record right now for it?
8 something.
8:21.
We
I'm
had
looking at it right now.
we had 3 times that are under 10 minutes.
So it wouldn't be the hardest thing in the world to get 7 more people on that list.
Oh,
Would it?
Wouldn't.
People will hate that game. Like, yeah. It's so bad.
Hey,
It's
how
so bad.
hard of a game is it to learn?
It's not. It's just bad. I put the initial route in, and then Splashfinity helped optimize the route, and I never want to touch the game. We found out there's a hard mode to the game as well, but it's not a good game. It's a quick game, but it's not a good game. The first stage, you immediately realize how bad of a game it is. Now, Hercules for the Game Boy, now that's a whole nother story.
I'm gonna be honest, I might have a couple hours tonight. I might boot up Mulan. I could maybe get that 4th time and pull up sub 10.
I think blind the game took me about an hour, so it's not a long game by any means, but it's I would like to see Shaq Fu in a Tiny Tenmo.
Of course you would. That's another one of those games that keeps getting requested. That Alien 3, which is a good game, but it's just really not easy.
The issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the only one requesting Shaq Fu, but Alien 3, like, Alien 3 is a good game. The issue with Alien 3, it's one of those where do I go games, and it's not an easy where do I go game. And there are game overs, and there's no continues. So, like, you could pour 6 hours into the game over, and then you get to start from the beginning. It's if you know the speed run, it's like a 15 or 20 minute speed run. But if you go into it blind, it's probably like a 6 or a 9 hour game. Like I was saying during commentary, I told people, like, you were way too nice, Mo, when you chose your game.
Which ones?
Well, like you pick you
In
like,
general.
like you, yeah, you like just pick
Yeah.
games and you like put like a goal on them if they're gonna be too long or whatever, if they're not blind.
Yeah, I'm half stepping away from that, but it's just because of Tiny 10.6 where I actually made a list that was really
Yeah.
tough, and then you had literally no runners because everybody was, did not want to put effort into anything, and yeah, that was kind of sad. That stressed me out a lot, so I went back to a really easy list afterwards. So this Tiny 10, it's a mix between both, really.
Yeah, I would say this Tiny 10 list coming up is one of the most varied Tiny 10s I've seen in terms of genre.
Yeah, practice starts tomorrow. With the remix over today.
Yeah, still 2 months or
Yeah, I gotta
Uh,
practice.
no. Like, we always give people so much time to learn everything, and yet a lot of people just don't want to. It's a problem with Game Boy games. Like, it's only 10 games instead of like 20 for NES or 16 for the Super 16, but no.
Yeah. Yeah. Another hard part is that like I would run in Tiny 10s, but then it just mow on commentary, and commentating by yourself a Tiny 10 or any type of marathon race for that matter is very difficult.
I would say, like, I think we could find somebody else to commentate with Mo. Just saying.
Yeah, there's usually more commentators than actually runners. So. But
Is
in the
there?
end, yeah, usually.
past
Like,
there's-
Bangaras is usually free to commentate as well. So
Bangaro's not allowed to race against me ever again. After that whole KDL tournament debacle like 5 years ago.
yeah, KDL was very fun for me again in this race. I don't know what it is when I'm playing Kirby's Dream Land races. I think I get just the worst RNG in the world.
Yeah, I was gonna note that I saw all of the encounters that you get in Gargoyle's Quest.
Oh my god, I had there were like 7 or 8 before I even got to the first town, and I was like, oh, this cannot be happening.
And the world record got like 7 total encounters the
Yeah.
entire run.
Plus, it was always the harder ones as well, like those fish guys that take forever to kill. It's like 5 of them in a row.
Did you get the fish boss?
No, I did get the fish boss during the first. Well, I didn't practice, but I did play through the list once last weekend, just to at least have played them. I did get the fish boss during that one.
I just die in the quicksand whenever I meet him. It's too much of a hassle to fight him.
Mhm.
Well, I just want to say good job again, guys. Like, all of you just crushed it. Especially like you, like Mo, without practicing and stuff. Like, you guys all did really well.
Thank you.
Yeah, everyone has done just a phenomenal job.
And thanks to Enemy for setting up the list, and to the Cav and Beltic for commentating, of course, as well.
Anytime.
Yeah, I'll have to watch the VOD. I wasn't listening or anything, so I have no idea what was going
Well,
on.
I would hope you weren't listening, or else.
That's
Also,
my favorite part about these races is I get to watch the VOD after and
Yeah.
listen to the commentators and see if they made fun of me. I'm just kidding.
actually, so that's a question. Did any of you actually watch it to see where you were comparatively? Like, not
I
listening,
did
but
not.
just have it open.
I checked once. I checked during the Taz stage just to see like where I was at compared to everybody
Taz
else.
is a good time
Yeah.
to do it. But yeah, because like when I have participated in relays or races like this, like I always have like a separate window open so I know exactly where I am. But that's just like my personality. I want to know, can I play things safe? Do I have to go like ham or YOLO on certain parts just to try to catch up, etc. So I was just curious if any of you guys did that too.
I usually don't do it, and I didn't do it today either. But my girlfriend watched the stream in the living room, and when the second boss died at Gargoyles, I had to ask her, "Are anyone ahead of me? I need to know if I can play it safe, or if I actually need to step up my game and do some strange strats I shouldn't do." And yeah, she reported that nobody killed the second boss before me, so that was good to know.
Yeah, I just think it's incredibly helpful to do it. So I always have one open, and I'll usually just check like in between, like whenever like a Taz part is perfect, or like usually every game there's like probably parts where you have a 5, 10, 15 second break in between levels, so I'll just peek over and look and see where people are.
It's very good information to get, because you can adapt to what strats you should use and not use.
Exactly. And that's actually one of my favorite parts about these races, is being able to do those adaptations and things to try to compete. It's more so than just playing the games if you do that.
Yeah, and that's why I like this format so much with having to learn 10 games, because you need to get good at the games, but you don't need to get best at the games. You talked about that earlier with the 80% and 20% stuff. So this format is super fun to me, but I don't understand how the big 20 guys and girls get it. With 20 games, that's so friggin' much information going into your head.
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't... So like, the big 20 I won, I think the winning time was somewhere in the 2s. Like, it was a high 2. And so it wasn't that much more, like, total time to learn. It was just more games.
Ah, well, that's true. Gargoyles being the longest game at the end of this run takes a lot of, like, concentration.
Well, and that's one thing that I do really like about how, like, a lot of RGL's lists are created, is they are beat the game for everything. For a lot, like, I know the regular Tiny Tents sometimes aren't, but like for Nescathlon and this remix and stuff, like, it's all beat the game, and so that's another thing that adds time to it. Where like Big 20, you might finish half the games.
Yeah, I'm very happy Enemy did the full Gargoyles quest. It was really fun to see that entire run and learn it.
Agreed. I even looked back on my because I did that Tiny 10 where Gargoyles quest was in the first time, and we only had to beat King's Palace. We didn't have to beat the whole thing, and it was really funny. My time for King's Palace at the time was 35 minutes or 36 minutes, and my PB for the whole game now is 33 minutes. So yeah, it's pretty cool seeing progress there. So yeah.
No, did Legs game over and restart? You can just pick the level you are at, Legs. You don't have to play the entire game again.
Huh.
I like Turtles one for the Game Boy, but like we've all said, it's just so slow.
It is, yeah. The second one is a lot better, but it's also very long. I love that game, but the boss rush at the end is a problem.
Yeah.
Just don't do it full game, so then it can appear in Tiny Ten Remix as a full game.
Shoutouts to that heckler, by the way, who was talking about me in chat. I was watching chat, but
Oh, that Lirod dude, right?
yeah.
I know him. I don't know why he just attacked you.
I don't know the person. Like, if you were trying to be funny, if you were trying to be funny, it's okay. But it was weird to read. Like, did he ever play a Game Boy game in his life? And I was like, that's a weird thing to say. Yeah.
Mo,
He's,
Mo has
he's
never
allowed
played a
in
Game
my
Boy game in his
stream.
life.
he's allowed in my stream, so I know who Mo is.
Yeah, I didn't know the name, so but yeah, I guess it was just for being funny, but it was weird. Yeah.
He always calls Man over Mars Mark over Mars, because that's like a.
Oh right, that sounds familiar.
Huh.
It's okay, no offense taken.
I just call him Mom.
Yeah. The one thing Man over Mars did not want it to be called.
Yeah, I remember that as well.
He was asking about names for his kid. I was trying to think of acronyms for dad.
His last name probably doesn't start with a D either. Like, just by odds.
Yeah, gonna have to change his name. Sorry.
The name is David Avid Davidson. I'm assuming his middle name was also Avid.
Man, this boss is tough. If you can't get the quick kill, you get that thing following you around. It is a tough fight.
Yeah, it's easy to despawn if you know how to, but otherwise it will just keep following you.
What I did for this is if I had enough health or if I had full health is I would actually take one of those hits and then just mash as much as possible, and then if I kill him, great. If not, then I do what he does and just run around until I can attack again.
Yeah, I tanked him with that essence wild thingy. So I just have to mash as hell, then pause, drink the potion, and continue mashing.
Oh, did everybody go pick that up? Like, I did it just to be safe. But
I didn't. I did not.
Oh,
I
okay,
should have.
yeah.
Like I told them earlier, I game overed in Desert Pit, and it would have been nice to have
Yeah.
something. But it's okay. It's not a big deal.
Well, I gotta say thanks for the run, enemy, and thanks again, Kav and Belthic, for commentary. I'm gonna take my leave here.
Yeah, congrats again.
Yeah, good job, man. Great time.
GG.
Yeah, thanks, enemy. You know what I told you last year? I didn't do any speed running at all until Tiny 10 Remix. So you actually got me on this path.
Well, it's great. Now they can hear me, by the way, commentary.
Good.
Yeah. Well, it's been a pleasure having you compete in these races, and likewise to everyone else who does. And yeah, couldn't be more thrilled with you guys' times here today. Just awesome effort at all of you. And congratulations again, Hero.
Yeah, super thanks. And GG Alec, GG Ariel, and GG Mo, of course. I'll be hanging in Legs stream for the rest of the evening.
Thanks for the GG.
See ya around, people.
Yep.
All right, take care, man.
Good one.
hoping that Tobier can get through this. He's been stuck here for quite a while.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to find out just how much time Tobier was able to spend on this game, because I mean this is a pretty vicious blind game. You know, there's not a lot of forgiveness for players, as we're seeing at this part right here. This little impossible to pass without taking damage spike.
Yeah.
That is possibly the worst stage, just because the spikes.
Yeah, just a bunch of junk. Like, it's going to do 2 damage to you every time, and he's using his health refill to get through there, so now he's in the position where he's going to win into the boss, and I think he can take 1 hit or no hits, you know, so, you know, he's in real rough shape here. But I think what we've seen is that when you die, you get your health refill back, which is pretty interesting in this game. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's basically 1 use per life or per stage. I think the start at the boss throws does 1 damage, but all the rest, I think the ball does maybe 3 even.
So I think he's got a pretty safe strat here right now. He's just got to wait for those hands to get down. But yeah, he's getting those hits in, sticking and moving, and just avoiding the big snowflake. Oh, but no, lands right on the head. Just tried to sneak past there, did not quite make it.
Yeah, you can despawn the ball, so like I guess he doesn't know how to.
Does it not spawn
just...
again pretty quickly after? Like, doesn't that become his priority attack to get that back on screen after you despawn it though?
Kinda. It's the same cycle. He shoots 1 star and then he goes back into trying to make a ball. But every time you jump into the upper right or upper left corner, so it's off screen before he shoots it, it's just gone. So
gotcha.
Makes it a lot easier to just stand in one place and get your hits in.
Alright, he goes right to this health, not messing around. Oh, takes a hit right away though. Okay, it only does 1 damage though, so he's in pretty good shape here. Just got to avoid direct contact, I think, with Rushafel. Fun fact about Rushafel: Rushafel is actually a mistranslation of Lucifer.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Yeah, it's actually not a mistranslation. It's just because Nintendo does not like any, things like hell or heaven in their games back in those days. They actually just named him Rushafel just to get away with it. At least in the English version. In the Japanese version, it's just Lucifer. But in Japanese,
okay, alright. Well, there you go.
The more you know.
I guess it was mostly Nintendo of America or Europe that had problems with it.
That sounds like a Nintendo thing, totally.
Yeah.
I'd always heard of it as a mistranslation, which when you say Rushafel out loud, it sort of does, on some level, sound like Lucifer, you know, a little bit. But, you know, like not close enough, but, you know, kind of vaguely. But yeah, yeah, there you go. I didn't know what his name was in the Japanese version, so there you go. But yeah, you get Rushafel again in Gargoyle's Quest 2, and I don't think he makes it into Demon's Crest. I think he's just hanging out on the sidelines in that one. At least I don't remember a boss just hanging out in a chair in that game.
No. Is Brager even in Demon's Crest?
I don't think so.
I think it's all...
I think it's all like post this era. And at that point, you know... You're not... It's weird because... So the progression of this game is that, you know, you're a gargoyle, and then you're like... I think it feels like Gargoyle's Quest 2 is a prequel to me.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, because it's like, oh, hey, here's a story about, you know, a random Red Reamer who would become the Red Blaze, which is the big hero. And then by the time you get to Demon's Crest, like, you can just fly forever right out of the gate. Go nuts. And then you get all the different crests and everything that, you know, let you be super ground powerful and fly forever, but also vertically if you want to, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I don't think it's like a direct sequel or anything. Because at the end of this game, they tell him that he can go to the human world, and that is basically a nod towards why he's in Ghosts and Goblins or whatever, whichever version. So because he wants to take over the human world. No.
Yeah, we got Legs on the Kirby's Dream Land, which was Legs' first speedrun, I believe.
probably for many people their first Game Boy speedrun or even actual speedrun. There's a lot of those games on Game Boy that are very good for new people who want to get into speedrunning.
Yep. Like Shaq Fu's only 5 minutes.
Yeah, but that's pressing down an A, so that's not really doing anything. Yeah, like Kung Fu Master is another one that's...
So
You can learn it in 10 minutes.
So real quick, I just want to give huge props to Tobier. He has real life things that he has to go deal with. So unfortunately, with Gargoyle's Quest playing out the way it is, he has to forfeit on the last game of the marathon. But I want to give him a huge shout out because Tobier joined the race this morning. We hadn't heard of him before today. And he said, "Hey, can I jump in this race?" We're like, "Absolutely, of course you can." And lo and behold, here he is. Here they are, showing up and throwing down and really having a good acquittal of himself. And I would just like to encourage everyone to follow all of our racers, but especially show some love to Tobier, who had 2 followers going into today's race. So, you know, an up-and-coming Game Boy speedrunner here on Twitch. Show him some love. That would make me very happy if everyone would go do that, please and thank you. And Tobier has assured us they will be a part of the Tiny 10 number 9, so look forward to that. Nice. And everybody should be looking forward to Tiny 10 number 9. You know, that list was just announced. And Mo, if you'd like to go over that list real quick before we wrap up here, we'll send everyone over to Sprinting Legs here before too long. But, you know, Mo, while you got everyone's interest up, let's go over everything here real quick.
Yeah, let me load up the site here real quick. I'll post
While
the
you're
link
doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and head out of the call.
All right, take care, Alec.
All right.
Yeah, thank you,
great job, man.
everybody
Awesome job today.
Thank you, and thanks to everybody who was watching and to everybody who put this together. And yeah, just thank you guys. It was really fun.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time.
Thanks for
Thank
joining.
you.
Good. Awesome
Yeah,
job.
man.
Thank you. See ya.
Alright, I got the info pulled up here, posted a link in the chat as well.
Awesome.
I'll go over the list. We're doing it on May 25th, 1 p.m. EDT, when the entire world is in the same time zone. Not like today, where I'm still not in the ST or whatever it's called. So first game is Little Indian in the City. It's a very simple platforming game. Nothing too difficult about it. It does not have unlimited continues, but you will probably not be needing any of them. Then we go into Mole Mania, which is a puzzle action game. You have to beat World 2 because this is a pretty long game. The any percent speedrun is really short because of an out of bounds trick that takes you from the first to the last stage. But just for people to actually see a part of the game, it's Beat World 2, so it's not that hard to figure out. Once you learn how to solve the puzzles, it would be pretty easy. The boss fights might be a little bit more difficult, but nothing too hard. Then we're going into Titus the Fox, which is another platformer game. Not the best game in the world, but it is a fun game. Playing on hard difficulty, which sounds weird, but hard difficulty basically just speeds up the game by 200%. So it is the faster option, and there's nothing harder beside that about it. It does say unlimited continues. I have to change that because that is not true. But again, this is a pretty easy game, so it shouldn't pose much of a threat. Going into the fourth game, it's Mega Man 3. Beat half the game, basically. Beat Big Susie 1, which is the midway point of the game. So the first 4 Robot Masters, and then the in-between stage, and that's it. Which is good, because once you go into the second half of this game, it gets really, really tough. This is the hardest Mega Man game on Game Boy for sure. But You just have to do the easy part, so it's no problem. For this game, we actually do have a tutorial. The others we don't, sadly, but maybe we'll get some more in. Fifth game, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is yeah, I'm still not sure what to call it. It's an exploration game. It's an action game. It's nothing like the NES version. It's actually a really cool game. Blind players might have some troubles with this because you really have to know where to go. It's an open world exploration game, so you might get stuck. But it's only 5 stages, and the speedrun is not that long. So once you know where to go, you can get through it easily. Unlimited continues, which make you restart at the start of the stage, but all the stages are like 4 minutes long, so that's no big deal. Sixth game is Magical Torurutu-kun. This is a weird one. This is basically a platformer slash shmup. Might have to play through it at least once to understand what's going on, because it does feel like a very weird game the first time you play it, but it gets really fun. There is a trick where once you pick the third option in the menu, when you get your fairy friend, you get a random bonus upgrade. Hopefully you get the one where you turn into a giant version of yourself, so you can take down the bosses really fast, especially the final boss, which takes 64 hits to kill. But if you transform into the big guy, it only takes 12 hits, so that's a huge thing to get, but it's RNG, so yeah, be wary of that. Because we had a platformer slash shmup, we just dive right into an actual shmup, which is Nemesis. Radius, if you want. Level 1 difficulty, 99 lives allowed. This is a really easy version of the first Nemesis, first Gradius. Shouldn't pose that much of a threat. Unlike the NES version, it's easy to get back on track if you lose all your power-ups, so yeah. The 8th game, which is probably the biggest problem in this entire list, is Batman Return of the Joker. Beat the game on easy difficulty. It only has 4 stages. The speedrun is like, I don't remember, 5 minutes long or something. But getting on that level is really hard because this is one of the most technical speedruns out there. I would even compare it to Gimmick on NES, just how technical it is to get really good at it. So
Wow,
you have 3
really?
lives in this game. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say it's that technical, because I mean Gimmick is impossible to be really good at.
Yeah, so is this game.
Yeah, it's you can definitely get a 10 to 12 minute time if you put in a little bit of practice. If you want to have a 5-minute time, it's it's quite something. The biggest problem with this game is you only have 3 lives. That's it. There's no continues or anything. You always have to restart. So yeah, this might be a problem for a lot of people, but yeah. And it's a Sunsoft game. Great music, great graphics. The controls feel really nice, so that's definitely not a problem, but it is just very technical. And then just before the last game, we put on our little puzzle game, like every time, like actual puzzle game. This time it being Quirk, going up easy, which is 10 stages, predetermined stages, so once you learn it, it's really easy. This will take you 2 to 3 minutes to get through, so that's a nice break before the last game, which is the Punisher Ultimate Payback. This is a rail shooter. Yes, you've heard me correctly, a rail shooter. Even worse than shmups, because you cannot speedrun a shmup. So
I'm sorry. The views of those on commentary right now do not necessarily reflect those of RGLtv or its admins. Thank you.
Yeah, I love shmups. I speedrun them as well. But yeah, so this is a rail shooter. No continues. You just have to make do with the extra lives you can find. Biggest tip for this is just learn where the health pickups are and the extra lives are, and you should be fine. Play through this game twice and you know it by heart. That is just knowing how to survive. Nothing too special about it, but it's it's a 15-minute game. Sadly, if you die, you have to restart. So if you die in the last stage, you'll have to play it all over again. There is an unlimited lives code, however, that is not allowed. Where's the fun in that? So yeah, that's the Tiny 10-9 list.
Sounds like a good list.
It is a very varied about it.
Lots of variety.
Yeah.
I like that Legs took the time to pause the game to put that comment in chat. Oh, and I mean, what perfect time, or what better time will there be to go host Sprinting Legs as they wrap up the Tiny 10 Remix number 2 here. We are just about done with Kirby's Dream Land here. We're on the DDD refights here. And we'll be moving over to the final game, which is Gargoyle's Quest in just a moment. So let us throw some love over in the direction of Sprinting Legs. We want to thank everyone who came out to watch the race today. Thank you so much for your support. Thanks to all of the racers. And congratulations to Grand and Hero on being the champion of Tiny 10 Remix number 2. And thank you to the commentary team here today, the Cove and Beltic Gaming. Thank you guys so much for stepping in and providing those great words all day today.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. The runners were awesome.
It was super fun to race this. Super fun.
Well, thank you, Ariel. And again, congratulations on 3rd place, man. A great job out of you. Mo, congrats on 4th place. And we all look forward to Tiny 10, number 9. Thanks for educating everyone on that a little bit. If they had not heard about it yet, now they know a little bit more about it. And they can look forward to that in May. When is it again in May? May 25th, I believe you said?
Yeah.
May
exactly.
25th, there you go. So stay tuned, everyone. Just a couple months away. We got Retrothon and NLSS before then, and then heading right into Tiny 10 Remix. So the next couple months, hot stuff coming up in speedrunning on RGLtv and beyond. Tiny 10 Remix, or Tiny 10-9 will not be here, but it will be elsewhere, and it'll be awesome. So go check that out. So yeah, for everyone here on RGLtv, thanks so much for watching today. We're going to host Sprinting Legs as they wrap up Tiny 10 Remix number 2. Thank you all for watching today, and have a wonderful rest of your weekend.